What's up, family? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Come on in, come on in. Ooh. Ooh, let's get this together. I'm in here rough, family. I'm in here a little rough. What's up? What's up? Where y'all at? We are live here today in living color. You can do what you want to do in living color. You can do what you want to do in living color. What's up, family? Are y'all ready for movie night? I'm ready for movie night. I'm ready for movie night so I can get back in that bed. Girl, now, let me tell you something. We're going to get this cracking. I know I'm running a little late, but we're going to get this popping. I'm going to wait for some more people. If there is any more people that is going to come up in here. Excuse me. I know y'all about tired of that shirt. Come on in. I just woke up from my nap, so I'm going to be ready here in a minute. Hey guys, Sunkiss 10. How you doing? How you doing? That's good stuff. Yes. We just gonna wait a few more minutes. Did y'all watch the movies? Did y'all get your homework cracking? Did y'all watch Set It Off? Did you watch New Jack City? Which one did y'all watch first? Let me know. New sub, boom, boom. Yes. Hey, girl. Pooh Bear, another Care Bear. Come on in the room. Yes. Are y'all ready? I'm a little ready. I'm get my notes together. Now, I'm going to keep it real, real funky. Listen, I was reviewing the reviewing Jack City, and let me tell you, I had so much notes, so much stuff I didn't notice before. And it was so much like things that I didn't even see initially. Um, I did New Jack City first. I watched New Jack City first, and one thing led to one thing. One screen led to another, and I got some interesting things. And while we just gonna wait a few more minutes. I have the time here at the top, and I am going to pull up my movie so I can make sure I'm on deck with these clips. Denmark, okay, Denmark. Sharaton, we greet you. How you doing? I'm doing, okay? I am doing. Your girl got off work early, and you get off work and you get into some more work. How y'all doing out there? Is it cold out there? What's it like out there? What's going on? So we got Sun Kids, Pooh Bear, Sharaton. We in the house. We did our work. Have all y'all seen New Jack City? We're gonna wait another minute or two. I didn't pile up the makeup. It's movie night, so we kicking it, okay? So yeah, good times, good times. So has anybody, seen New Jack City, or am I the only one who has seen the infamous hood classic New Jack City? Are y'all just watching and listening, or are y'all participating? That part, West Side. Okay, born and raised in Sacktown right here. It's been a very warm winter, hardly ever below freezing, but that's how it goes. Sometimes cold, sometimes warm winters. Okay, so would you say Denmark is overall like a cold place, or I wouldn't know much about Denmark, but in Cali, yep, okay, yepper, yes sir. So we 5 minutes in the room, and I think it's just us right now, and hopefully more of the fam bam comes on in to join us. The last time I checked, the squad is getting deep. We are 500 deep in the little subscription. 1 minute I was celebrating 5 people. Next minute I was really celebrating 50, and then bam, here it is, 500 people. So come on in, like, comment, subscribe. As always, you can hit me up on the gram. If you ever need any recipes or meal prep ideas or anything like that, that would be the way to hit me, is the gram. So can y'all see me? What's up? Sun kids, these young bucks need to peep. I told my little sister, man, there's a lot of jewels that was dropped on us in the 90s. So, speaking of which, uh, that was the thing behind it. That was the push behind it, because I realized that watching these movies, because I usually just stay in my lane, go ahead and get it started. Um, we were really lucky in the 90s, especially being a young Black girl in California, where who they just don't like us a lot, okay? But what I noticed, we had a lot of images of ourselves, whether it be TV shows, cartoons. We had R&B and hip hop before it was popular. When the Tupac and Big was dropping their classics, and I got the magic of that shit. You know what I'm saying? The movies, the directors and screenwriters, really generally stem from an authentic place. From the boys in the hoods to the menaces to societies, all the way down to the waiting to exhale, all the way up, I should say, to the waiting to exhales and set it off. Let's see what the comments is saying. Okay, they say it gets pretty cold. Winter's rain, July. It's not a place to go for crazy. I might have to consider Denmark. I love cold weather. I prefer cold weather. How was weather? Did you get any sun? We got a little sprinkle action today, but it didn't last long. We're in the valley. I'm in the Midwest, so it doesn't really get too cold out here. I guess this is considered the South. So so let's get into this. So I don't know what they shown in Denmark or whatever, but you might need to open up another screen, get your Google on, and catch up with New Jack City. So let's get it popping, okay? So um I'm not gonna be here long, but let's go ahead and get this cracking. We're gonna do this little copyright action here. Okay. Come on in the room. Okay, that's for all the haters. It's pretty much self-explanatory that this movie will be used for my rights to drive home my point, and I will be using clips to do so. Um, in regard to educational purposes, let's right on in to this. And initially, what I was gonna say, sorry, I'm rambling. Um, Sorry, I'm rambling, you guys. I'm a little nervous-ish because I am used to the cut and clip, not necessarily coming very straightforward. So let's see, where should I start? Should I start with the trailer? Let's go ahead and give y'all the trailer right quick. Let's give y'all the trailer. And then so people could get a general idea of what New Jack City, seeing as though we're we have some people who are outside of the states and really probably don't necessarily, I mean, I can't guess for you, but have an understanding of a lot of the Black experience. So let's get a movie clip cracking. New Jack City trailer. I'm gonna just play a piece of it. Hopefully, this is the one in English. Okay. Let me know if y'all can hear this. They were all the same. Ice-T, Alan Pay, Chris Rock, Mario Van, Christopher Williams, Vanessa Williams, Tracy Kamal. Can y'all hear? And Chuck Nelson. Detective Nick Peretti, big crazy jawhead motorcycle freak reject cop just like you, Scotty. On the streets, there's a fine line between wrong, good, bad, who enforce the law, or out there, and those who break it. Gone are the days of selling on the street corners, dark alleyways, the back rooms of some bummy ass bar. You ain't with that no more. In a city where survival depends on friends, on family, look out for on trust, on loyalty, on power. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. The city are up against a cop. No, it's streets. This person. This is big business. This is the American way. It hurts. Oh, yeah. Yes, New Jack City. No wonder we wanted to see that movie, okay? That was exciting, okay? I got to relive my childhood right quick for 2 minutes. So let's get right on into it. So let's see. So the screenplay was written by Thomas Lee Wright, Barry Michael Cooper. And this movie starred Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, Chris Rock, Mario Van Peebles, who was really super popping in the 90s, and Judd Nelson. And then let's see, the music by Vassal Benford and Michael Colombian. So this was released, of course, in the United States. The budget was $8 million, and the box office hit way over that with $47.6 million in revenue. The release date was January 17th of 1991. And I definitely remember all of that. Okay. Um, any movie that was Black anything, we was in the movie theater. Okay. So let's get into this here. So New Jack City in 1991 is an American action crime film based upon an original story and screenplay by Thomas Lee Wright and Michael Cooper. Wesley Snipes plays Nino Brown, a rising drug lord in New York City during the crack epidemic. So for those, are y'all aware of the crack epidemic out there in Denmark? Let me know down in the comments. Did they tell you guys what the crack epidemic was here in the States? Did y'all sun kissed? Yes. E e oh yeah. Yes, sun kiss. Okay, sun kiss, girl. Look at that participation. Y'all better get your participation up. Be like sun kissed in your life. So, yeah, so the crack epidemic. Let's get into it. So, the crack epidemic in the United States was a surge of crack cocaine used in major cities across the states between the early 80s and the early 90s. This resulted in a number of social consequences such as increasing crime and violence in the Black American inner cities, what they should have said, neighborhoods, as well as a resulting backlash in the form of tough on crime policies. In 1986, the U.S. Congress passed laws that created 101 sentencing disparity for the possession of trafficking crack when compared to penalties for trafficking powder cocaine. So in the 80s, late 70s, or all up into the 80s, coke was the drug, the disco era, heavy drug use, the hippies and shit. That's back when, our peoples was getting fucked up down to the Woodstock and shit, right? So on the back of that comes the 80s, and coke was heavy in rotation. Okay, so here it is. We'll just move forward in correlation to the movie. So going forward, it used to be called freebase. Any of y'all heard of that term, freebase? Anybody from the hood around here? Oh, just me. Okay. It was a rich man's drug. Yes, indeed. And that's what it was. I mean, people with money was the ones basically who were the ones using these drugs. So it was popular amongst the entertainment scene, especially in the 80s. And then, of course, um, freebase became more popular because of how fast you get addicted to crack cocaine. So these were criticized. The penalties given to the men. So basically, in a nutshell, what would happen is the drug dealers who were pushing coke and shit, if you got caught with coke, you were likely to get a less sentence for a brother who was caught selling rock. Free base, crack rock. Oh, I don't know if y'all remember, there was a song, Yo Mama's on crack rock, because during the time hip hop music. A lot of the songs that you will find in the late 80s, early 90s, which is the 80s, late 70s, 80s is the origins of hip hop, but you would find the context of the music was to counteract that. Now, yes, we had our hoodlums and things like that, but that was generally pushed to the back for those for set, criminals. But generally in our community, we were pushing forward, the Whitney Houston and all the positive of our community. So let's go forward here with the crack epidemic. So it appeared here in the late 80s. It was hitting the major cities. The majority of the cocaine was being shipped to the United States, was landed in Miami, and originated in Bahamas and the Dominican Republic. Soon, of course, with the high demand, there was inflation in prices for the illegal product. Drug dealers made decisions to convert the powder to crack rock in a solid, smokable form, which I just explained to you guys. And as early as in 1991, reports of crack were appearing in LA, Oakland, San Diego, Miami, Houston, New York, and the Caribbean. So let's move forward. So now we got us a base, and we know a basis. We know what crack rock is, where it stemmed from, and things like that, right? So let's get back into the movie. Now we laying a foundation. So just roll with your girl, okay? So Ice-T plays Scotty Appleton, a detective who vows to stop Nino Brown's criminal activity by going undercover to work for Nino's gang. So basically, the story begins in Harlem in 1986, and Nino Brown and his crew, the Cash Money Brothers, which is so interesting. Anybody know about Cash Money CMB, YMCMB? Hi, just got here. Andrea, what's up, girl? Come in, like, comment, subscribe. Oh, I have my share of family in NYC, and but hi, La La Land. Okay. I was raising my baby girl then, so don't remember until later. I was very sheltered. Oh, well, good for your parents holding it down. So how did you get into New Jack City? What got you there? So let me go forward. I'm gonna jump back in there as soon as you respond. Um, so let's see. His gang consists of so cash money, cash money millionaires. That's when they had the little baby chains in the late 90s when they came out 97, 98, 99. Cash money taking over for the 99 to 2000s. That's when they had necklaces. They didn't have chains. So as we could see here, uh, Cash Money, as we know, the record label, due to them being started through drug dealing, um, embodied, I guess, their imperialistic mindset and deemed themselves the Cash Money Boys out in New Orleans, okay, down in Louisiana. Let's see, become the so he, Nino wanted to become the illest in New York City. So he was introduced to crack via G Money, and his gang consists of his friend G Money, Dutta Man, Keisha, Gunmall Keisha, that was her real name, Nino's girlfriend Selena, and her tech savvy cousin Kareem. They did Kareem greasy in this movie, okay? So let me get into my notes here. And then through the notes, we are going to kick the facts here and make sure y'all are liking, y'all are sharing if you care. If you think somebody will find this interesting, tag them on in and tell them to come on in the room. Um, I'm looking for my notes, y'all. I'm so sorry. I should have been more ready, but I was late, and I was late on even front, okay? And I wanted to stay in that bad girl. Um, oh, it was your mother's favorite movie. I'll these documented. So sorry if it freezes, but it comes back. I think it's because it was loading something there. Should have been ready. So I'm just going to do this to handle the biz. So the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use of purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, that's what we're doing here. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit educational or personal use tips, the balance in favor of fair use. So this video has no negative impact on the original works. It will actually be positive for them. This video is also for teaching purposes, and it's not transformative in nature. I only use bits and pieces of videos to get the point across wherever necessary. Okay, so we handled our biz, and we can start getting into these clips. Okay, so let's jump right on into the intro. We 24 minutes in. Put in the comments. The action starts at 24:30. Okay. But if they want a layout here, then they want to watch from the beginning because there's things that I point out, and that laying a foundation is really important so you have an understanding. Because as one of the people here has stated, she was very sheltered, so she probably didn't see the same things that we saw coming from around the way. Okay. Oh, y'all. So I got the movie queued up and everything like that. I'm paid for this. Okay. So do y'all got y'all drinks? Y'all ready? Where y'all at with it? Where y'all at? I'm hyped. I don't know about y'all. I'm so hyped. 3 people is more than what I could ask for. You know what I'm saying? Um, so let's get into this. So here in the beginning, we pan in. I might pause and go get my drink or something. So here in the intro, we have Queen Latifah, Levert, and Troop. They are singing For the Love of Money. And when we pan in, we're gonna see Better Man hanging some white boy off the bridge. Meanwhile, the news reports a drug-related incident. Oh, and this is something that I didn't peep. It said they had to extract a man from a ventilation duct. It stated from a failed robbery attempt. So that indicates to me, okay, that must have been some kind of crackhead who got stuck, you know what I'm saying? Because he was on the thirst trap move trying to get that crack rock. And I don't think people really know how detrimental that it was to our community, especially a black community. It was purposely, oh, we're losing people in here, but we're gonna keep it pushing. I think this is for black folks here. So if that makes you uncomfortable, I might be the only one. Me and Sunkissed. So it was really devastating for our community. So um, they stated from a failed robbery attempt. So this is in the background. So you really kind of got to focus in to hear that news. And then they also mentioned a drive-by due to a turf war. Um, So back to the characters at hand. Nino slowly jumps out of a limousine towards the dangling white boy begging for his life. And there's a white lady there screaming the whole time as traffic moves along the New York City streets while he's hanging from the Brooklyn Bridge begging for his life. Then Nino takes his time, reprimands him for not having his money or his product, and states money talks, bullshit runs a marathon. So see ya, and I wouldn't want to be ya. Hold on, y'all. Hold y'all. It has snacks and drinks on deck. Sound interesting is the song choices throughout the movie. And this is again Queen Latifah with Lavert and Troop. So let's get into it. I've already wasted enough time. Let's fast forward here. Employment is not the party by the Department of Labor, with nearly 200,000 more claims for unemployment. Day into day, the Americans whose income is below the poverty line has risen to 2 million compared to 1.6 million in 1979. Economists say that the economic inequality is at its worst level in 2 days on the record. The top are getting richer. Over the last 3 years, the percentage of after-tax income corporations. Did you hear that? The rise in homelessness and crime within the city. Mm. Did you hear that? The 7-year-old boy got shot within a drug-related incident, and the police reported the kid was just in the way. That's fucking hell. Police believe the 3 were victims of a drug deal gone bad. Identity of the victims has been withheld. So let's fast forward through here. We don't want to have no problem. So this is the scene that I just mentioned. Look at Dudderman struggling. Look at New York. That's petty. People just driving by and not giving a fuck. Look at Nito. Another day balling. Look at your name. Nito, please. Don't start bitching up now. You don't have my product and you don't have my money. You gotta give me another chance. Nito, please. Look, the brothers don't wait to get paid. Money talks. Bullshit runs a marathon. So, see ya. And I wouldn't want to be a sober. So, get out of here, right? So, boom. Drop that fool off the bridge, yo. Nito's a cobra. What that little boy said, I hope you kill his black-hearted ass. So, boom. They drop him from the bridge. The news continues in regard to the rise in hospital visits due to drug-related incidents related to the crack epidemic. Oh, shit. We detected a copyright audio and video. Oh, hold on. Hold on, though, YouTube. Meanwhile, the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing and this is nonprofit, educational, and for personal use. And it tips the balance in favor from my fair use. So this video has no negative impact on the original works. It's actually positive, and it's not transformative in nature. I'm only using bits and pieces to get the point across where necessary. So heads up back to you while you're detecting copyrighted audio and video. Okay? So we're getting this together. You're going to be detecting that the whole time because, as I stated, due to the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. So I stated that initially, and I implemented that within the video. So stop playing games, YouTube. Okay. So, boom. So yeah, they mentioned the rise in hospital visits due to the drug-related incidents related to the crack epidemic, which we covered here initially, and the effects that it had on infants. And also what I found interesting too, the news in the background also mentions the white boy that we just saw getting dropped off the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, Nino, give me another chance. So then we pan across this crack-ridden area, infested with areas, crack infested areas. And then eventually it shows Ice-T and Chris Rock, aka Pookie, and Scotty negotiating a drug deal. Then so Chris Rock is like, show me the money, show me the money. And then Chris Rock jacks that nigga, right? So it's the illest chase scene ever, okay? Like Chris Rock gets the fuck up through, okay? So I'm just gonna switch to that. We'll do this quickly. Look at he's fiending, you know. Yeah, so boom, we're gonna skip ahead. I just want y'all to see some of this. He ganks him. So Ice-T is chasing Chris Rock, right? It's real intense, right? He got on the bike, flying over shit. They jumping, they going crazy. Yo, this fool almost lands on a train track and he still keeps it pushing, right? So he don't know he's fucking with Scotty, the revolutionary brother who's ready to fight this war on drugs, okay? And because Scotty is about that shit, right? So he's chasing down, boom. So right when you think it's over for Chris Rock, boom, Scotty's right there on that ass, right? So boom, they end up landing in the playground and bow, Ice-T popped that knock ass nigga right in the fucking leg. So boom, catches him, you know what I'm saying? And then Christopher Williams sees Ice-T. You know, nothing major happened there. If y'all know who Christopher Williams is, I would advise you to check out the soundtrack to New Jack City. Let me tell you, when I was a kid, New Jack City soundtrack was the most boppingest soundtrack I have ever heard in my life. Christopher Williams sang the track on this soundtrack. The "Don't Wake Me, I'm Dreaming." Ooh. Yes, where's my damn tablet? I should have brought that over here, but I'm gonna be fully equipped for the next one. So boom, he chased him. And Christopher Williams, just to give you a little heads up, is Nino Brown's girlfriend's cousin. Okay. So while he's chasing him, what I found interesting, Ice-T's song, New Jack Hustler, aka Nino's theme, was playing in the background while he was chasing Chris Rock down for the money that he stole. So I thought that was an interesting choice of song because the songs that they selected for particular scenes are really interesting. And I would advise you guys to look up some of these songs and look at the actual lyrics because, as I mentioned earlier, in hip hop, though our music was meant to counteract and be revolutionary. Let's see. So the chase scene is extensive. These are my notes here. Chris flies off quick with his bike, almost hit by a train, onto a playground when he's eventually blasted. Chris Williams sees him. Okay, so panning over. So after the chase, he gets blasted. They handling that. So now we pan over to G Money playing ball and talking shit like the baller that he is. Okay, y'all. So he on the basketball court on the other side of Harlem, having a good time talking shit, right? I'm about to show y'all G Money. Yeah, yeah. So that's G Money, Nino Brown's partner. So he over there, showing out, talking shit around the way because they grew up around this way, mind you. So he's making bets and he's feeling untouchable and he's doing his thing. So now Nino Brown pulls up with Dutter Man because they homies from around the way, right? And another interesting song comes on when he hops in the car. The song is called "In the Dust" by Two Live Crew. I will want you to look into these lyrics. Let's see if I got them up here, y'all. And I should if I got my because I got mad screens open, okay? Okay. In the dust, I do. So I got my back against the wall. Hold on. Let's my dick is in the dirt. Dirt. Let's talk about this man they call Nino Brown. Yo, okay, so look, I'm gonna just read one paragraph to you that I found really interesting. That is so opposite from what we hear on the radio today. He said, I'm a stereotype, so I fit the description. A nigga has a stigma for pushing or pimping. Police harass me and public embarrass me. They use brutality without asking me. That's so interesting that this is late 80s, early 90s talking about the same shit. Hey, Skinny Boy Classic, what up, dog? Yo, he be showing your girl all the love, okay? But again, like the whip. That's a crime. It's a So there's Dutta Man. Where's my D Money and Nino, okay? So G Money, let's see, where's my notes? So G Money basically introduces Freebase, and he basically was doing an experiment while he was in the club selling coke. So what he did was set up his clients with what they call Freebase before it was really crack. You know what I'm saying? What they would do, I won't go into the details, but they would set them up to smoke that coke. Okay. And so at that time they didn't know how highly addictive this concoction was. So as he goes on to explain for those who saw the movie, he was just like, yo, 15 minutes later, this motherfucker was coming back and he was getting more and more and more. So that's really how it is. Like, I'm telling you, if anybody has ever hung around a drug dealer or been around a nigga while he was making serves, that shit is back to back to back to back to back to back. You see the same motherfucker. Oh, like, God damn, are you a billionaire, nigga? Are you smoking all this crack? So anyway, I mean, so he ain't lying. So the other man was like, you know the rules. You can't be whatever the fuck he said. Basically, not stepping outside the crew selling drugs. And he was like, no, it was a little experimentation thing. Okay. So Nino was slightly impressed and he showed slight interest. And he's like, you acting like this is the will, like it's going to change the world. And that's so interesting because it actually does. And so he considers the idea of crack. So let's get into the other part of this thing. Don't get out. The fuck up,
man. It just dropped. Hit the base and yo, 15 minutes after leaving the club, they be back with 2 and 3 people with it. And they ain't come back for the cocaine. They came back for peace. Nothing like this shit is the wheel or something like it's gonna change the world. I don't know about all that change the world shit, but what I do know is that if you're going crazy over this, man, I'm telling you. And the bitches, oh no, the bitches, yo, they do anything for this, man.
Yo, so just so you two don't play games, y'all, let's get into this screenshot real quick. Because I don't want, I gotta obviously the copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is used permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So we're not infringing here. We're conducting class, okay? So let's put this out here in the screen because YouTube's out here playing games. Okay, now that the business is done, let's see what the people say. Oh, y'all tuning in, word. So so he was like the bitches, because bitches was throwing it in the circle for them rocks, okay? So boom. Okay, so showing the history of during the Reagan era, the Just Say No program is dusty. That. So let's get back into these notations here. So interestingly enough, what I found researching this here, I got a lot of tabs open. So the freebase. Now, what I wanted to bring to the table was the CIA involvement in the Contra cocaine trafficking, because that's an intricate piece here within this particular movement during that time frame. So the Contras, in case you didn't know, the Contras were a U.S. backed funded right wing rebel groups that were active from 1979 to the early 90s in opposition to the socialist Sandinista. I don't know how to pronounce this, but they're of the National Reconstruction Government in Nicaragua. And so during the war against the Nicaraguan government, the Contras committed numerous human rights violations and used terrorist acts. These actions they carry out systematically as a part of the strategy of the Contras. Supporters of the Contras tried to downplay the violations, particularly the Reagan administration in the US, which engaged in a campaign of white propaganda to alter their opinion in favor of the Contras. What was so interesting is that in different countries, like Denmark, for example, white propaganda wasn't seen. How propaganda is used on American citizens. For example, in the 1940s, when they were trying to make the Japanese look hella bad, they had all this yellow journalism associated with them, and they would use a lot of visuals and commercials and things that they would make up, these racist things that they would basically make up about whoever they're targeting at the time, and to redirect the American people to go for the shit that they're actually pushing. Like let's a more recent one, the war on terror with Bush. You remember when 9/11 happened, and then all of a sudden we're in Iraq, and it's like, hold up, these motherfuckers is from Afghanistan, and Bush and his administration pushed that propaganda on us to make us believe that the person behind the shit was the nigga with the bag with the liver problems, and really it was them. That's an example. And what I found interesting too is they have white propaganda and black propaganda, and of course the black propaganda is the negative, and they use the white propaganda to clean it up. So how do they say it here? White propaganda is propaganda that does not hide its origin or nature. It is most common type of propaganda and is distinguished from black propaganda, which disguises its origin to discredit and opposing cause. So boom. So I just put it in regular degular terms. So the U.S. engaged in a campaign of white propaganda to alter public opinion in favor of the Contras, while covertly encouraging the Contras to attack civilian targets. So basically, that indicates to me that they was fighting all the motherfuckers off of in Nicaragua who was wanting to stop the moving of the fucking drugs. Okay, so let's just keep it funky. So the rebels received financial and military support from the U.S. government, and the military significance decisively depended on it. And after U.S. Support was banned by Congress, the Reagan administration covertly continued the illegal activities, culminated in the Iran Contra affair. So, and just so you know, Contra is short for La Contra Revolucion, in English, counter revolution. So, as I stated earlier, right wing rebels, whatever the fuck that is, going forward. So, basically, which these people are brown people that, once again, our imperialist government uses to their advantage. So, I went over to try to get an understanding of the illegal covert operations. And what I found was, and I'm going to just read it straight off the page to y'all. Is this getting boring to y'all? Are y'all still with me? The real Saddam Hussein didn't get hung. The one the U.S. soldiers found in the ground, he had bad teeth. I'm talking about Desert Storm. My hubby was. Oh man, yo, Desert Storm. You talking about the first Bush? Okay, word, word. Okay, good times, good times. Man, Desert. My one of my ex best friends, both her parents were in Desert Storm. And often her father would talk about my girl, Sanchez. Her father would often mention, was that OG? Yeah, he would often mention sometimes him and his partners basically felt like this was some bullshit because they would spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours riding on those sandy roads, I guess. And I honestly, to keep it funky, I was in my late teens and kind of just didn't give a fuck until 9/11 happened, really. And that was kind of like a wake up call for your girl, because they were considering implementing a draft. And so that's when my antennas started to perk up, is when the second Bush came and infiltrated our country. So yeah, well, I mean, consider his father was still with that, uh by taken over by any means necessary. Okay, I hate to use a Malcolm X quote to talk about these fuckheads, uh, and really, I mean, it's really not about a color thing. It's about rich and poor. But our community gets to our community got targeted in regard to this. Like, they made money on multiple levels during this crack epidemic. So not only did they have more these brown people in Nicaragua holding them down there, right? Then here in America, they implement this war on drugs, right? Which is a war that they basically implemented on us, because there's no way that any of us, I mean, half these motherfuckers don't even got IDs, let alone to get a car to bring some work into the city. So, I mean, and if for people who's really with the shits, like, I don't know if you heard about people in Chicago and these big cities where literally these motherfuckers will be dropping off drugs and guns into the community. So it's not a far fetched idea, uh, with the depopulation agenda that they have. Um, it's not a far fetched idea that they would do something like this, right? So let me get back onto this, and I'll stray away. as I go along, okay? I want to kind of hit these facts that I got here. So, with Congress blocking further contra aid, the Reagan administration sought to arrange funding and military supplies by the means of third world countries and private sources. So that is another interesting thing. And I was going to mention earlier, like they made money by bringing the drugs in, selling the drugs, and making the money. But then the same people that they use, like on that movie Deep Cover, where they use Lawrence Fishburne to basically sell drugs in an attempt to take down part of the cartel. But because the dude that was in the cartel was affiliated with a high powered dude, you know what I'm saying? A high powered dude, our government worked with him. They plant these malls in our communities to act out these evil deeds. And then the regular dudes in the community who have no affiliation with these agencies and the CIA and these government agencies, the regular Joe Schmoes and the regular Keishas and LaQuishas go and spend 20, 30, 40 years in jail behind two crack rocks. I remember there was a point where you got like 10 years per crack rock when I was a kid. Like they were, and then on the other side of it, they made money off of the Just Say No program, Dare to Care program. You know what I'm saying? They're getting free funding off of the rehabilitation centers for the people who are dealing with the addiction of this drug. I mean, the shit is ill. The rise in hospital visits, those government funded agencies, like, no, the shit is ill. And at the end of it all, them motherfuckers got paid off that shit. And not only that, but then people who are incarcerated, they got free labor. So and then it's like the cycle's all out again. And not only do they get paid and get all of that, but then they get to depopularize the community, disable the children before they're even born, and thus in such depopulation, right? So that's ill. We got to look out for the next epidemic that's hitting us, which I don't think it's like everybody in the LGBT community, but we're not going to deny the fact that there's a real agenda. And keep it real, like I'm black first all day, right? But it's all masculinity. Black, white, Spanish, whatever Spanish and whatever Asian you are or whatever white you are, that's what it is. It's all masculinity. They're attacking all femininity. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like the 90s and 80s where it's like, oh, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Which I'm gonna get back focused. I'm gonna get back focused. But this is not the second time for those in the LGBT community. Pay attention, okay? This is not the second time y'all motherfuckers been targeted. They targeted y'all niggas with AIDS. They had y'all niggas in the lines. I know y'all can find the video clip somewhere on here where they had them fools lined up and shooting them up with the fucking AIDS. Y'all need to look up Dr. Robert Gallo. He's a German scientist. Start with the G. He was on the dude from Fear Factor, Joe Rogan show. Check out that interview. We should talk about one of these days. But YouTube got these policies and stuff. I don't know. They might block my video. So I'll find a way. So let's get back to this. So with the third party funds, let's see. No. That's not what we was at. And private sources. So they use third third world countries and private sources between 1984 and 1986. 34 million from third countries and 2.7 million from private sources were raised this way. Dang. The secret Contra assistance was run by the National Security Council with Officer Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North in charge. With the third party funds, North created an organization called the Enterprise, which ain't got much information on that, which you kind of got to dig a little bit more, which served as a secret arm of the National Security Council staff, and he had his own airplanes. Check this out. The secret Contra assistance was run by the National Security Council with Oliver North, okay? And the staff had its own airplanes, they had their own pilots, airfield ships, operatives, and secret Swiss bank accounts. Let's let that settle on in. I'm gonna need you to let that swirl around in your soul a little bit. So meanwhile, while we're kids, while this is going on, we're singing "Just Say No," and crackheads coming to our school because we want to live. And these motherfuckers, where's my people at? She knows speaking real shit. Okay, 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 y'all ain't here. Okay. I'm in Chicago. What's up, skinny boy? Classic. Dropping guns literally in the alleys and shit, seeing it with our own eyes. I know I'm not crazy. Tells her she knows she's speaking real. Oh, I can't stand Oliver North. He was in on it too. Yeah, man. And talking to the OG soldiers, you learn a lot. My dad was in the military. um a lot of my family members were in the military, and I learned a lot. We were raised religiously because we were raised as witnesses to not fuck with the government on the strength that they're evil as fuck. And then kind of just growing up, and my dad being a military man, and explaining certain things, and then when I became an adult, the shit started to make sense. Especially my ex best friend's parents who were in Desert Storm, they often talked about how they felt like they were wasting their fucking time. Shout out to Brooklyn. Hi, new subby. I just left the Care Bear video when you were waiting for 100 subs. Look at me blow up, bubblicious. Bubbles, the fire queen. All right. No, that's right. You was into Skinny Boy. Were you in the military too? Bubblicious. That's cute. Brooklyn in the house. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? So speaking of which, man, we getting all distracted and stuff. I need to find make this where I could see y'all and read. That's when they was doing um I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about those flashes of your life when you was a kid, and you're putting all this shit together. So that's why going live, like when I'm making my videos, like the deeper videos, I'm able to pause and pull things up and touch on those thoughts that run across my head. Now you're kind of seeing me in real life going from one thing to another. So those other videos help me kind of consolidate all those quick thoughts. But I'm moving in real time, so it's kind of hard to do. But I'm learning. This is a great real time learning experiment. Um, oh, you're Trini though. Okay. I wish I was like from some island that knew my ancestry all the way back, like y'all. Um, Yep, operating enduring freedom in Afghanistan Air Force. Wow, that's really cool. It's unfortunate, what the United States is involved in, but we can't lose our we we have to hold on to that warrior spirit. We have to hold on to our warriors and our soldiers, and we have to hold on to those people, and as a collective try to redirect the narrative and how we're going to utilize it. What we got, like the Black Panthers and shit. I don't know, I find myself wanting to be a part of something like that. And just off subject again, as we will be the whole time. I find myself researching Sister Soldier and trying to find my lane. You know what I'm saying? So, and trying to find a way where Tupac and she left off, and kind of combine them and try to put in some work. Um, Just visit for a taste. Yo, I lived in Boston for a long time. I was in and out of there for about 8 years. That's why I got this strong ass accent. And I gotta say, every time we went to New York, we couldn't wait to get back to the Bean. That's all I'm trying to say. So I fucks with New York, but I fucks with the Bean a little bit. But don't get mad. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Um, we do need the Black Panthers again. I feel like if we took our warriors and our vets and had them police our streets, you know, I think we could get somewhere. Actually, we got to get back to the business. Um, am I in LA? Is that what that means? I was raised in Sacramento. I was raised in Sacramento. I was in and out the Bay my whole childhood. And then the 90s in California was a lot of, I grew up around a lot of gang activity. Um, I grew up around a lot of gang activity. And in hindsight, I don't think my father really, he knew, but didn't really, know what he's from Cleveland. He was from Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So there's a disconnect there. I'm a California girl and my heart is so West Side, you know. Um, but I think there was a disconnect with the generations, with the things that was implemented in our community, how hip hop was weaponized against us, and things like that. And not like, ooh, I'm getting off subject. Let's get back to this movie, okay? Right? Because we getting off deep and off topic. Okay. So let's get back into this. Is that cool? I know that's right. I heard actually my first love was from Brooklyn. That's another reason I got this accent. Because I was with that fool for 4 years. 1 second, y'all. And you can't see my dustiness. I'm in my drawers. I had to turn off that heat. It was getting blazing in this motherfucker. So where we left off is how the National Security Council had all of these resources readily available to complete their set out plans. You know what I'm saying? Oliver North, what a fuckhead. Um, oh, boom. So I brought that specific note up to point that out because, you know, why did I bring that up? I brought it up because they, during those times, were talking basically, painting our Black men as these super dangerous, predatory ass dudes. Meanwhile, we got Oliver North and his funky ass crew with airplanes and pilots and ships and all the Swiss bank accounts and shit. Meanwhile, Tyrone around the corner is getting 20 years because he sold a 20 piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just realizing that is really heavy. Um, where did I want to go? Senator John Kerry's 1988 Committee on Foreign Relations report on Contra drug links included that senior U.S. policymakers were not immune to the idea that drug money was a perfect solution to the Contra's funding problem. The Reagan administration's support for the Contras continued to stir controversy well into the 90s. So I was in elementary, okay? In August 1996, the San Jose Mercury News reporter Gary Webb published a series titled Dark Alliance, alleging that the Contras contributed to the rise of crack cocaine in California. Gary Webb's career as a journalist was subsequently discredited by the leading U.S. newspapers, the New York Times, the Washington Post, LA Times, and internal CIA report entitled Managing a Nightmare. So, this goes into, see, these motherfuckers are some crafty bitches. I'm going to just go into this. So, shows the agency used a ground base of already productive relations with journalists. We know that to be true, to help counter what is called a genuine public relations crisis. In the 1980s, Douglas Farrell worked as a journalist covering the civil wars in Central America for the Washington Post. According to Farrell, while it was common knowledge that the Contras were involved in cocaine trafficking, the editors of the Washington Post refused to take it seriously. And so, what we do know about our country is, if they want your black ass, they would get your black ass, right? And so, considering that because these Contras look like me and you, for the black ones in here, right? They look like us. They look just like us, right? So if they wanted them fools for trafficking that cocaine, they would have locked their black asses up real motherfucking quick. So the fact that they allowed them to get away with it, as we learning here, they were funding that, and the trickling effect that it had into the urban communities. Okay, so what did he say? Boom. So I wanted to mention this too. Propaganda. During the time, U.S. Congress blocked funding for the Contras. Oh, but we already went over that, over how they basically secretly kept pushing the dope anyway. So let's get back into this movie here, okay? So meanwhile, while they in the streets of Harlem trying to come up, show out, ball in the mix, our government is doing this. Because mind you, like I said, this movie plot is set in 1986. Okay. And the years that I mentioned is like 84, 85, in the early 80s. So this is right off the back of all that shit. Okay. Let's see what's going on down here, y'all. Foxy Brown. Right. You all in my business. Hi, cuz. So, boom. So let's get into this. And then here's another thing too. According to the 1985-86 National Narcotics Intelligent Consumers Committee report, crack was available in Los Angeles, New Orleans, Memphis, Philadelphia, New York, Houston, San Diego, San Antonio, Seattle, Baltimore, Portland, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Detroit, Minneapolis, St. Louis, Atlanta, Oakland, Kansas City, Miami, Newark, Boston, San Francisco, Albany, so that's in New York. Buffalo is also in New York, and Dallas. Interesting. Look at that. It hit each coast. They hit the top of each coast. They hit the bottom of each coast. They hit the Midwest, top and bottom of the Midwest and the South. God damn you fuckheads. Aren't they pieces of shit? In 1985, cocaine related emergencies rose by 12% from 23,500 to 26,300. In 1986, these incidents increased by 110%, from basically 26,000 to 55,000. Between 84 and 87, cocaine incidents increased to 94,000 incidents. That's fucking crazy. You remember that shit that was talking about? These motherfuckers was making money on the front and back end. A whole lot more on the back end, as we saw. By 1987, crack was reported to be available in DC and all four states in the United States. What was that? Oklahoma, Nebraska, and some other corny motherfuckers. Some scholars have cited the crack epidemic as an example of moral panic, noting the explosion in a use and trafficking of the drug actually occurred after the media coverage of the drug was an epidemic. Later, the epidemic died down as the new generation avoided the drug after seeing the powerfully destructive effects on a previous generation. Some died, some were dealt, but many tired of the side effects. That fucking interesting. Oh, I got to stay in the moment. Hey, let's go to this movie here. So where we at? Okay, so he was talking about how he was like, so let's get back to the movie notes. Dang, we already been in here an hour, man. They spread this bullshit across the country, east to west, north to motherfucking south. Ain't that a bitch? Benton Harbor, Michigan now. Wow. Okay. So you were born in Arizona, but lived in Colorado when your father retired, and now you're in Michigan. What interesting travels. So let's see. So boom, 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 boom. Chases him, flies off cliff. Nino pulls up with Dutta Man. I got my back against the wall. When my dick is in the dust. G Money introduces the free base. So we started pointing out some things in the Reagan era and, kind of pointing out where this actually stems from. Because around these parts, we're not just going to let the real criminals target our men. We don't do that here on this channel. Um, Boom. So moving forward, they're at a party. Flavor Flav of Public Enemy. They were at a club called Spotlight. And Flavor Flav sees Nino Brown. He was like, "Yo, Nino, what's happening, boy?" And all that shit. And cause he's the man. And let's see, where am I at? Where am I at? For the party that Flavor Flav was hosting. They're playing Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. And, oh my God. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, let me tell you something. When I was a little kid and I used to watch these movies, man, I couldn't wait to grow up to be cracking out of party. Now the parties suck, yo. I be trying to anyway. I want to be in the party like them fools, yo. It ain't cracking like that for us. Not for us. But it's cool to be a junkie now. At which that is the epidemic being imposed on us. The lean, um, Flav shouts out Nino. It's clear Nino's the man. He sees Ice-T, not knowing that he's a J. So, Nino and his crew, they move straight to the back office. They meet up with his girl Selena and her cousin Kareem. So don't wake me, I'm dreaming. That nigga. They meet up with him, who is basically a nerd and wants to get on because he could get more money fucking with Nino, right? Check this part out, yo. Check this part out, because Nino was a whole lot smarter than the average hoodlum. Okay, let's fast forward, y'all. Okay, so they all in the club. Gets introduced to Kareem. Check this out. Joe Kennedy.
Good. You gotta rob to get rich in the Reagan era. They're running a strange program, y'all. I mean, more poor and disenfranchised folks than this place has ever seen. See, they try to run it off like it don't exist. Meanwhile, the rich get richer and the poor don't get a fucking thing. Times like these, people want to get high. Real high and real fast.
So, boom. So he meets up with the crew. They talk about basically they're going to switch up their flow from banging on the corner to basically taking over the Carter. So he lays out a blueprint basically to bum rush the complex, the apartment complex, and the community, and basically either turn them niggas into fiends, workers, or you getting up through. Okay. Period.com.org.ed fucking you. That was it. They were taking over. And what is interesting again, talking about them cash money boys, you know what I'm saying? Is the fact that like Lil Wayne, he got an album called The Carter, all of this stuff based off of drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was interesting. I mean, it's little, but it's not little. It's something I just didn't want to overlook. Because he has the Carter 1, 2, and 3. I mean, don't he got hella Carter albums? I wasn't a fan. I felt personally that he was gay and he was making it cool for other niggas to be gay because these niggas was zombies in the early 2000s and really wasn't thinking for themselves. They were kind of blindly following the fuckheads of hip hop, while Nas meanwhile was trying to let everybody know that they're killing our outlet. Um Okay, so they meet to the office. Nino mentions the Reagan era and states that the Running the Strange program, there's more poor and disenfranchised. I entered black people than ever seen. The richer get richer, and as we saw that part. Um, then he basically assigns them to their position. The other man in Keisha security, the nerd and his girl are gonna handle. Kareem is the nerd, okay? Kareem and his girl's gonna basically handle technicalities and finances. And the crew mentions their competition, Smitty. Okay, so now that they got that popping, I just thought this was it.
But you're gonna is the card. I mean, they become loyal. You can hook up the computer system. Watch out for the workers, the money, and the product. The other man, Keisha, needs a security force. Wrote off the fat Smitty. He controls the
That's the competition.
It's time to sing that fat bitch a lullaby.
Rockabye, baby.
Yeah, he gonna be hanging with Elvis.
I don't know why I like that part, but he's like, damn. So, boom. So on the next scene, right, they pull up on Smitty. And basically, Smitty is checking a motherfucker about his bread. So G Money, Keisha, and the other man, they pull up and they tell him, hey, Nino said your services are no longer needed. And they blast that nigga. And he's like, yeah, that's how you pull up on a nigga and you just bow in broad daylight. Yo, and he was out. I'm telling you, me and my brother rewound out like 50, 11 times. So let's get to the scene, y'all. That's Smitty.
Mastermind, I'm here to tell you, Nino Brown says your services are no longer needed in the community. Now that's how you kill somebody, my brother. You get right up on the motherfucker and bang out, throw his brains all over the sidewalk in broad daylight.
I'm sorry, but that laugh when he sped off. Yo, y'all, tell me that wasn't funny. I don't give a fuck.
No longer needed. His brains all over the sidewalk in broad daylight.
So they killed out the competition, kept it pushing on the niggas, and so now, boom, they move on to the plan and action, taking over the Carter. As we move to the next scene.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now look.
Please close the door. I'm live. No.
Control of the party to the brothers. Yes, sir. Oh, yes. I know. I guess the shotgun goes off.
Butt ass naked. Ran him through. Oh, this is a.
Get your clothes back on. Yes, sir. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Living. Hold on. Before you two start tripping, check 1, 2. Who ain't on their shit? So, fair use copyright disclaimer, you motherfucking tube. Copyright disclaimer under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is used permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This video has no negative impact on the original works. This video is also used for teaching purposes. It is not transformative in nature. I will only use bits and pieces of the videos to get the point across when necessary. Okay, so boom, shakalaka, let's get this cracking. Okay. Oh, sun kiss, this is our part. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all this part. I'm gonna take a little quick break so I can get my sister together, okay? New subby here from the front. What's up, Shonda? AQT? A cutie. Okay. Check this out, y'all. This is the Carter that they taking over. Look, it's 5 of them. And now we're living just enough for the city. Yo, look how happy, energetic, the sun is shining, the people all, having a good time and this and that. So check 1, 2, right? Check 1, 2. So I just wanted to point out that group right there is a group called True. They sing one of my favorite songs from back in the day. All I do is think of you. Do-do-do. Okay, so look up True and get your motherfucking jam on. That's your next homework. On Saturday morning, type in True and get your bop on. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back real quick. Give me 2 minutes. Count me down, okay? Then I'll be right to the back. Hold on. You're going to hear me, but you just can't see me. Go grab your drinks. Grab your snacks. We're going to be back in 2 minutes. Oh, hey. Lizzie, what you need? Lizzie, what you need, your pop? Huh? Are you using that glass? Yeah. No, my glass. You got a poop? Understand. You just need a fork. Okay. Are you coming in here kicking it or what? But it ain't no in and out, ain't no talky. You just need a fork, that's it? Oh, okay. Huh? On the low. I don't care. I'll get that. Too much talky. Okay. No. Okay. So can I say hi? Hey, you're getting too comfy in here, okay? Yes. Yeah, you don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable. Y'all still in here? Y'all still with me? Don't get comfortable. That's what it's like having a superstar for a sister. I ain't no superstar. I'm regular degular. I want it exactly. You're not supposed to be talking. Okay, we almost back from the commercial break. I hope y'all got y'all drink because I've been waiting all week to drink this wine. Okay, you got to get your refill on. So I'm almost back. We've been in here for 1 hour and 25 minutes. Thank you for letting me learn with you guys. No talking. And I'm gonna wait for y'all to come on back. Let me know when y'all is ready. Cause we was on that part where we just enough for today, which is a replay. While y'all get y'all drinks, if y'all can hear me, which was a replay on Stevie Wonder's song Living for the City. I invite you to pull that up too. A boy is born in Hardtown, Mississippi. I got that more low cracking. What y'all got? I'm not trying to be on swole like that. That's why I went to the red wines. I'm trying to get this belly off so I can be summertime fine. Um, so y'all ready? I'm waiting for my girl to come back. It's Skinny Boy Classics in here still, Shonda. I see you. Hey, cutie. I see you. I know that's right. Uh, let's see, Sun Kids. Oh, she said she's gonna be right back. Refill time. I'm filling up for the first time. I came in dust. Okay, if it wasn't for my sister, I would probably still be asleep. I was making love to that pillow, like. Oh, we back. So we back. Okay. So it's the takeover, right? Let me get my notes together because I got so much notes. Let me scroll up because if I keep it up down there, I'm not gonna be able to focus. Okay, here it is, right at my nose. 5 happy brothers singing. Y'all remember they was living. It was all energetic. Y'all remember that? And I discussed their music. True that all I do is think of you. That's your homework. Tune in, okay? Especially if you're in your 20s, you need to tap into that and control your coffee. Okay. And get out of here. She says she's sick. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Emergency break. Ho. Ho. Take another what to call it. Come on, you said you. How you didn't even warn a nigga? How am I supposed to warn you? I can't make no move. Here you go. There you go. And you already smoked. Can you shut the fuck up? While you breathing toxic ass air in my room. Use me really quick. This is for me. You didn't even eat. So what? And you left me dry. Who cares? You kept me waiting for a whole hour. How was I supposed to care? You promised me. You're breathing toxic air, and I'm gonna keep spraying you with disinfectant. You want to keep your promises? Oh, bitch, girl, come on. You're being petty. Do you want to exit or stay? Choice 2, 3. Okay, just thought. Well, okay, yeah. Get you together. You sit in your toxic. Quit spraying that shit. I don't want you breathing that shit on me. I'm fucking sick. You said you were sick. I coughed because I smoked too much Newports, Amanda. Fuck. Do not say my fucking name. Okay, so we back. I'm telling you, y'all niggas have no understanding. So anyway, we're living, just enough for the city. Figure it out. You are on your own. You keep breathing this direction, I'm gonna spray you again with this spray. Yeah, you just breathe and coughing. You didn't even attempt to cover your mouth. Are you gonna make it easy for me not to say that to the mouth? Oh, I'm just saying. I could respond, or I could try to figure out what this is. Oh, while you figure it out, keep it cute and on mute. Okay, so they're living just enough for the city. Do you want to exit or not? I'm just saying. I don't need you to say nothing unless you're in the comment section of this live. Seeing as though your phone is gone, I would like it if you stay on mute. Thank you. Okay. Are we back? Oh, we're back. So the takeover. So if you squeeze your head in this scene, you're getting the fuck out. I'm not squeezing my head. Okay. Are you done? Or are you finished? I'm gonna need you to put some respect on my show. It's not even fun. I'm not doing fucking anything, man. Can you leave now? Yeah. Okay, bye. Get the fuck out, please. I'm fucking out. Please, yes. I'm gonna spray this too. I'm gonna lock my door. Please continue to shut up on your way. Okay. Why? Go to bed. Like, get out of here. Lizzie, get the fuck out of here.
My fucking shit.
Bye. Get your shit and get the fuck out.
Fucking course I am.
Oh, good, good. Oh my God. Can't wait till you leave the whole house.
I fucking can't wait either.
Okay. Why not now?
Why are you asking me?
Hey, check one, two. You can really leave the whole motherfucking house if you continue to be disrespectful.
Why are you asking me?
If you continue to be disrespectful, you're gonna have to fucking leave. If you continue to be disrespectful, you're gonna have to fucking leave. So figure out what you're gonna do. You're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to leave. And give me my right back too. Thank you. Yeah. Dude, you're gonna have to leave, though. Get on my nerves. No, you're getting on my nerves. As a matter of fact, we're gonna get your brother. You get the fuck out tonight. You're not spending the night here. You're not sleeping here. Don't come back. Don't come back. Get your shit and get out. Get the fuck out. Get out. Okay. Now I'm back. Whew. This is why this motherfucker can't come over here. But as I was saying, niggas with no money got a whole lot to say. They be having the most to say. But as we were doing on this show, talking about the living, just enough for the city in the whole nine. They were all happy, popping, energetic, and all the shit. And then the takeover. Let's see. Let's fast forward. So they took over the Carters. So, and if you notice, then even the voices got deeper, okay? And meanwhile, while the whole takeover is going on, the Cash Money boys, they were balling in the motherfucking mix, okay? Let me take a sip. Here's to you, son. Niggas be coming in your house being disrespectful. That's why they have to go. So yeah. And she ain't gonna be allowed back in this motherfucker. Believe that. So yeah. So they did the whole takeover. Yo, they done took the baby girl's teddy bear and threw it on the floor. That is so disrespectful. Did I play that part for y'all? Well, anyway, watch it on your own. Good looking, okay? Uh done took the girl's teddy bear and threw that shit on the floor. Ain't that a bitch? Okay. And let's see, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, so he put the goons out there. They're claiming their territory. They shooting niggas up. They, kicking everybody out the complex, and then you're gonna see the results of it. Shootout. Now, meanwhile, they selling rock, getting suited and booted. It's all cold and frosty. Where's the other two? Where they at? Oh yeah. Yo, I still wonder, like, yo, what happened to the other two? So, so, so to talk about the crime, desperation, and addiction. Yes, the crime ridden areas due to this. So, when you put when you disenfranchise a group of people, that's Levert, by the way. That's Levert. When they went from the young group, that was Troop, and then when they showed the older version of them, that's Levert, of Gerald Levert. And so yeah, just thought I'd drop that on you. Look that up. There's some more homework for your ass. Let me send my brother this text real quick. So and while I'm sending that text, um, like and subscribe, share if you care. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just sending this text. Okay. Oh yeah, cause yeah, she's getting the fuck out of my house tonight. I need you to pick her up and take her where she needs to go. Pick her up. Needs to go. Okay. So boom. So meanwhile, as y'all saw, they were balling in the mix. Okay, he's getting new suits. The other man getting haircuts. They getting grills. You know what I'm saying? I'ma just skip ahead. You know what I'm saying? So then we pan into the children receiving a motivational speech from their children in the midst of crack vials in their playground. Thank you, Shunda. Thank you, Andrea. Okay, 7 of us in here. Show out. So, in the midst of these crack vials, like right next to the basketball, um, and then we pan over to the police station where the old man from earlier is complaining about the takeover that Nino and the Cash Money Boys, what they did. And the cop gives absolutely zero fucks about what he is talking about. And the old man is adamant about the crime ridden complex. Meanwhile, there is a detective, Stoney, is his last name. They go by their last names, apparently. They push for Peretti and Scotty, which is Ice T and Judd Nelson, and to take on a case. And it looks like the lieutenant disagrees with this. And what I found interesting is when Mario Van Peebles, no, when the lieutenant mentions the crack epidemic as though it was something they never saw coming. And he was mentioning that the mayor and governor um, wanted to take down a high profile drug dealer. And that reminds me of a few movies, but I'm going to try to stay focused for the last 20 minutes of this, considering the disrespect we all had to encounter. So I got to make up for lost time now. Um, so let's see here. So he mentioned the war on drugs as we tapped into, and I'm gonna go pull from these notes here. Where is the war on drugs to do? Um, some people choose to be criminals, and some people don't have a choice. There's a difference. Some people are coming from humble beginnings and they think it's their way out, and others just choose to make bad decisions. The war on drugs is a largely unsuccessful campaign. Damn. Led by the US federal government of drug prohibition. I think maybe why they say it was highly unsuccessful is because they were the drug dealers. But the chick is gonna always come home to roost. Um, because those same men that they locked up, and it has an effect on the women of today. Myself definitely. Um, of drug prohibition, military aid and military intervention, with the aim being the reduction of the illegal drug trade in the United States. The initiative includes a set of drug policies that are intended to discourage the production, distribution, and consumption of psychoactive drugs. Meanwhile, the CIA implements projects like Project Artichoke and MK Ultra, which designs said psychoactive drugs. So I mean, I'm just trying to say, um, boom, 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 boom. The term was popularized by the media shortly after a press conference given in June of 1971. President Nixon, the day after the publication of a special message from Nixon to the Congress on drug abuse prevention and control, during which he declared drug abuse public enemy number one. That message to Congress included text about devoting more federal resources to the prevention of new addicts and the rehabilitation of those who were addicted, and which gains more federal and government funding where they could pinch off the top. Okay. However, 2 years prior to this, Nixon formally declared a war on drugs that would be directed towards eradicating, what does it say? Directed towards eradication, interdiction, and incarceration to on these initiatives. So basically, they spend $51 million to come up with ways to fuck with the people and get paid off your free slavery. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I don't know because they use all these big ass fancy words, and it makes the normal person not give a fuck. And they don't gotta say all that. They just gotta keep it funky, but they ain't gonna never do that. So what am I? So I just wanted to tap on that. But it's a good thing to look into. And once you start looking into one thing, it'll lead you to the next and the next and the next. So yeah. So let's get back into the movie. So the Carter ain't taking over. Nino and the Cash Money Boys, they making money. The school to prison pipeline Sunday. Yeah. Thus and such. Implementing the school to prison pipeline. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Somebody is paying attention in here. Okay, somebody gives a fuck about what I'm actually talking about in this.
I know. What are you gonna say yes to?
By the way, for those who are in the States, because we got some people from Denmark. I don't know if he's here because once I started mentioning black people started dropping out. But which one of y'all were y'all in Dare to Care? Were y'all in Just Say No? Were you what kind of because you had to be, what kind of drug program was implemented on your school? Does anybody recall that? Was you in like a Dare program, depending on where you from, or was you in a Just Say No program? What was your school's drug program called? Because we got them. I'm gonna close out the contras because we already went into that. Dare, Dare. Okay, I was in Just Say No. That's out in California though. So we already went into those lyrics from the Two Live Crew. You remember Just Say No? Just Say No. We had this crackhead that knew how to sing, honey. The ill high collar with the Michael Jackson joint. Oh, okay, okay. Did y'all have the t-shirts? We had a Just Say No, JSN program. And our colors were pink, purple, and green. Friends don't let friends. Oh, what about friends don't let friends drive buzzed? Meanwhile, let's be still then. Am I being too trill? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. Let me try to get it together. Right. So Okay, so it's eight of us in here. So boom, let me go back to the notes because I gotta go to the actual sources so I could get my dates right. And then I go back to the notes that I took myself while watching the movie. So boom, we talk about the kids, the governor, on drugs, and so this was because this is when Stoney was speaking to the lieutenant in the office, and this is when the lieutenant mentioned the war on drugs in an attempt to bring the epidemic to an end. It sounds like a money plot is what I put on my notes. But after Stone gives a convincing speech, the lieutenant reluctantly agrees and explains how much of a huge issue that this is. I find interesting is how, but they're kind of like soldiers, and no disrespect to soldiers. I feel like soldiers should be more educated. Um, what you end up finding is soldiers are not that educated, and in the realm of like the constitution, and they have a divide between us, the normal folks, the civilians, and the soldiers, because um it seems like these type of epidemics come along, and the law enforcers have no awareness of the bigger picture, no matter how much information is out there. Because I recall seeing Farrakhan speaking on this as a kid. I recall Dr. Khalid Muhammad speaking on this as a kid. Because my dad watches this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that. You know what? Shonda and Sunkissed and Skinny Boy, y'all got my horn. And Andrea, man, y'all, thanks for showing your girls some love. I really appreciate it. Um, the speech agrees how big of an issue it was. So we're just gonna skip ahead. So panning over to Scotty's house. This is where Ice-T, Scotty, and Peretti, Judd Nelson, get introduced by Stoney, Mario Van Peebles. And basically they hate each other. And it's because they both crazy as shit. So boom, we're gonna skip ahead. And G Money walks in. The Italian guy, Frankie Needles, he comes in with G Money, and he basically is trying to attempt to check Nino from moving forward independently from away from the Don to these Peruvian dudes around the way. And the Don basically takes it as an insult and wants to renegotiate percentages. And Nino basically says, fuck that, and mocks them fools. So, yeah. And I wanted to show this clip because I found that hella interesting. This is what I found interesting is how my Cash App is Mr. Moneybag's wife. Let me turn this down real quick. You gotta claim it, girl. You gotta claim it. So this is the part that I skipped ahead to, telling when they was talking to the lieutenant, because they're really trying to solve this issue with the war on drugs and the crack epidemic, and they're just determined cops like Detective Stablins and shit, right? And this is when they get introduced. Boom, boom, skipping ahead again, skipping ahead. And boom, boom.
Contained unit.
I love that black entrepreneurial spirit.
You see me next week, right? I'll hook you up with some of them collard green linguinis and shit. Chicken Alfredo. Chicken's Alfredo. Maybe get a better soup. Fuck you.
Look at that man's hidden talent. Isn't that crazy? I thought I'd point that out and show him some love, because even though it's a character, they try to paint him as some idiot. But look at that hidden talent. I thought that was kind of deep. Let me put in here Cash App. I don't know what the hell is going on in here, but anyway, I don't think the military teaches those messages to the soldiers. My hubby didn't know. Malcolm X and his legacy. What? Yeah, man. I saw listening to a Sister Soldier interview that um how she intentionally mentioned that Black children are not taught about their African selves. And as we recently found out, they're not even told about slavery and things like that. They're being told that it was a choice, basically. Like we were volunteers. Like, what the fuck is that about? So let's get back to the shits. He said collard green linguinis and shit. But anywho, boom, boom, boom. So I was feeling the fact that Nina was like, "Fuck you, nigga. We done came up. We moving forward." So you kind of gotta fuck with the entrepreneurial spirit. And this is the thing that I also found interest with, which would be another good thing to talk about live with y'all, is how the generations, how they mention how the generations went from being crackheads to serving the crackheads to now back to the junkie action. They went from the suffering, eh, but you got to look at the resilience that our community has. Every epidemic, every takedown, every attempt, the community still is resilient enough to rise above it in whatever fashion that person is able to push through in their way. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that. Like, they implemented this whole crack epidemic on us, right? And then, boom, we got Nino Browns popping up, Rick Ross's and stuff. Speaking of which, Rick Ross, Nino Brown reminded me of Rick Ross because the CIA allowed that cell and he didn't know he was being used. That's another good example there. Netflix released oh yeah, the solving that murder of Malcolm X. You have to do further research on your own. I think the only reason why I do know what I know is on the strength of what I learned at home. I was raised on universal thought, especially growing up being a witness and things like that. But then as I got older, I pretty much got into, because I was taught, I was raised with universal thoughts. So I have the mental capacity to understand, okay, yes, racism can be used as a divide and conquer mechanism. However, we're not gonna ignore the ongoing shit that's going on with us today and how it's continued in different forms. So, with us being knowledgeable of those things, it'll be really fucking selfish if I didn't share that information. So back to the movie though. So, um, so they basically say fuck Don, whoever the fuck, and so Frankie Needles goes back to the Italian spot. And the Italian dude, who is totally racist, basically, he's like those moolies over there down with the Peruvian what the fucks. He's basically buying off of them now. And he said a whole bunch of Italian racist slurs, talking about the black folks and the Spanish black folks. And he's basically, if you lay down with Peruvian dogs, then you get Spanish fleas. I was like, this nigga is worse than Archie Bunker. And so back to CMB, while being watched by Scotty, Ice T, and Judd Nelson, they're watching Nino pass out turkeys. And then comes Chris Rock, who is a full-on crackhead now, begging to get on. Let's see. That really was propaganda, though. How presented, but that's another discussion. Oh, we should jump on that. We should jump on that one day. But yeah, that fool came back. First, he was a stick-up dude. Remember? Because he had robbed Ice-T, but he ended up getting blasted. Remember? Now he's showing up. It's Thanksgiving. They balling in the mix, and this is how they giving back to the community by passing out free turkeys and Thanksgiving dinner and stuff, right? So, yeah, yo.
Lay down with Peruvian dogs, you come up with Spanish. Ain't no village. Touchdown. $1,700. Suspects hand out consumables, and the natives are restless. Don't shut the fuck up, man. 10 years is a low life murder.
Yo, Ice-T, he's the regular brother. Full knock. Look, they try not to laugh.
Look at your monkey black ass. I don't understand it. First, you want to be a stick-up kid, right? But then you got shot. Now you're a base head. You're all messed up, man. Your life is crap. Like stir-fried shit.
Not stir-fried shit. Yo, how he gonna be the nigga selling all the crack on earth and then gonna tell him your life is just trash? Oh man, wouldn't that change Ice-T's mind? What? Him passing out turkeys or what? What would change Ice-T's mind? I don't need to see myself. I just need yo, full knock action. Okay. So let's go back to my notes. So he was begging to get on, whatever. Um, so yeah, so I wanted to show. So this is, I mean, for real though, the way he looks like the motherfucking knocks that I seen around the way. So anyway, so I wanted to show y'all another funny clip, so we could have us a little chuckle. Okay. So hold on real quick. He's so ugly here. Hold up.
Have you just been prom queen? Now you ain't nothing but the prom king.
He said, look at you. Y'all, why he hit that ugly Fire Marshal Bill laugh, y'all? What the fuck was that about? This nigga hit the Fire Marshal Bill on us, y'all. Yes, it's good and bad in one person. Yeah. Yeah. Really? Um, let's see. What is it real quick? I'm gonna just check this for you, Chunda, real quick. Hyped out. That nigga was cracked out. Oh, it is my bad. That's my Twitter. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Well, I know you don't gotta put the money on there. The bag. Okay. Damn, because I gave you the wrong thing, Shunda. I'm sorry. I gave you my Twitter. Uh, I'm sorry. I gave you my Twitter when I meant to give you my cash app. I'm so sorry. You over there trying this shit, and I really thought I gave you the right shit. So he said, yeah, the prom queen. You a prom queen. So, oh yeah. So the Revolutionary Brother. Now, I don't know if y'all caught it from watching New Jack City initially. When Ice-T, when he was watching Nino Brown pass out the turkeys and shit, he was basically like, yo, I gotta look after that kid because he's a fucking idiot and he don't know what he's doing and what the fuck is going on. So after he called old girl the prom fiend, he basically commenced to whooping her motherfucking ass. Hold on, y'all. I wanted to show y'all this because I really think it's fucking hilarious. I know Ice-T was like, what the fuck? This thing ugly.
$1,000 from me on that girl, man. It's got me, man. I don't got no control over it.
Why his look so white?
This be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go. Help, man.
Yo, so he gets him in rehab and stuff. So he basically was like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna help you. And puts that nigga, hey, let me tell you what you should look up. I don't know if y'all remember from back in the day, because Geraldo back in the day used to cover the crack epidemic stuff a lot. And if you look up clips of the crackheads from the late 80s, early 90s, you can even type in Geraldo. And if you compared it to how Chris Rock was acting in the movie, identical. Fucking identical. You can even watch the movie Colors and those clips. I'm about to check right now. Oh my God, thank you for the love, girl. Yeah, yeah. I got it. I got it. Thank you so much. Um, Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, Shonda. Thank you. Thank you so much for showing me love like that. Totally unexpected, okay? Totally not even knowing that was gonna happen. But yeah, like because that crack yo will get you fucked up. So, oh, you saw it in your own house. Okay, so so I won't be so harsh. I'll be respectful, but drug and shit like that ran rampant through my family too. So you're definitely not alone. Okay, because that shit gets fucking real quick, real fast, right? So he basically, he gets in there, he goes through detox. Let's see. Let me scroll the notes up because it gets a little confusing. So much notes. Let's see. So he goes through the withdrawals, through the AA meetings, or NAAA meetings. The struggle is real. And basically, I was going to say show crack baby clip, but we need to move forward because we're almost towards the end here. Pookie starts getting healthy. Ice-T's making him exercise. He's mad weak. You know what I'm saying? He's all like fucked up. And then let's see. I'm gonna scroll up some more. It's getting a little. So it looks like he was entered into some type of program, and I guess which is okay, like because we're looking at the background too, and we got to understand too that those are federally funded programs. You see what I'm saying? So they're still getting the higher ups are still getting paid off the back end. Yeah, yo, there are functioning addicts. There are, especially the throwback ones. The throwback ones, could smoke they rocks all night and wake up and go to work, honey. Okay, like for real. So I see that in real time. Okay, so boom. Let me get back to the movie right quick because I wanted to check the cash out. Shonda girl. Yes, I am so hype off of that. Cool. I'm gonna put that in the savings thing. I know that's right. Shout out to your mom, Dukes. My mom has been well. She didn't smoke rocks, but she was a alkie, and she's been sober about the same amount of time, about 20 years too. And so so he goes through the program. Ice T's watching him all proud now that he's clean. And now that he's clean, he wants to help Scotty take Nino down. Like, how you gonna just. And so then Pookie breaks down the whole Carter. system. Okay, he tells them everything, how they go through this scanning thing and shit like that. They have a badge, boop, they got to scan in, they drop the money through the bank shoot, it goes up, then they're welcome into what did they say, beam me up, Scotty? Was I gonna yo, those scenes are, oh my goodness, Skinny Boy, why did you keep coming through dropping facts? Yo, on everything I love. Yes, and I know that some of the people I mentioned during our conversation, he was actually a mailman and a functioning crackhead. Yes, sir, a whole functioning addict. So we're gonna fast forward through withdrawals, AA meetings, attempting to exercise. He was still get skinny as a beanpole. Um, he need to come over to my house. I will fix him a plate. He needs some meat on his bones. And let's see. So now he want to help take Nino down. He's thinking about it. Now he's breaking it down.
Tell me what exactly goes on in this dope. Alright. It took me a little while, right? But I fixed the whole joint. Here it is. First, when you get to the entrance, you gotta show a membership card, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's like a video.
What you said, Andrew? How you gonna be a snitch now?
I'm walking through that, I was like walking through a after that, just went up to the second floor. This worker brings a buzzer and a code.
Why he look like a member of Nirvana?
But take this out, the code, the buzzer, where that go? Call go to this place they call the drugstore. And that's where they have.
So, hey, I'm sorry, but the white boy looked like he was about to hit the rocks and go, "Where the lights out, this is dangerous." Okay, Dunda, we here, okay? Because we own the level, okay? I just thought I'd say that. He do look like her, right? It did. No, he did not mix up the mail. No, he had worked there for like, damn, I think it was like 20 years and shit. Now, don't sell to whites. Oh, I'm not even gonna say that. Moving forward. I'm not gonna say that. As long as you keep your head to the sky. So now that Pookie is all clean, he turns out to be a whole snitch. So boom, back to the cash money boys. They out here getting paid in the shade, looking all clean. It's New Year's Eve, y'all. So they back at the spotlight with your boy Flavor Flav. Oh, what do y'all think? What do y'all think of now? These reviews will not be live, but what do y'all think about reviewing Flavor of Love? Like as it just came out. I'm gonna scroll my notes up while I wait for that. Did y'all ever see Flavor of Love? Because Flavor, I watched that show all the time. I just love Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav, another functioning addict. Another functioning addict. But he's been clean a while now, 18 years, 8 to 10 years, I'm not sure. But if y'all with the review of Flavor Flav, Flavor of Love, with New York Pollard, you let me know, and because I would love to review that as if it was just brand new, because that's my idea that I had. So, okay, so boom, let's move forward. We almost at the end, y'all. We almost at the end. I'm not gonna keep you forever and ever, okay? It's a learning process. So uh yeah, y'all gonna be riding from the janky shit to the ballin' shit. You just okay. You like Flavor of Love too, Shonda. Andrew, you say you saw enough of him. You don't care too much to see him. Did you watch Flavor of Love? Sun-kissed Tiffany is everything. But like I felt like me and her were just so much like, especially when it comes to dating, she reminds me of myself. Not the manipulative bitch part, only when there's other chicks involved. See, and that's why you can't be messing with no dude that got hella bitches, because it make you crazy. Girl, why did it land right? Put, I'm sorry. I was so grouchy right then. I had no words. Like it landed right, motherfucker. She had me weak. She was like, "Ooh, and it sting too." I was weak. No, when he had the girls, he had. Wait, let me make this bigger. It's my notes covering, ain't you? No, when he had the girls to choose. Yep, yep. He had 50 girls in there. Oh, we lost one. So okay, boom. I'm sorry this is taking so long. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. It's New Year's Eve. So Frankie Needles, he comes back with a racist gift from the Dawn, and it's basically a black dude with a noose around his neck. Just completely disrespectful. Um New York, yes, yes, New York. He sure did. So here we are at the spotlight. Flavor Flav.
This is the fruit of our hard work. The belief in the entrepreneurial spirit. The new American dream. A toast. A toast to my family in life till death.
Oh, nigga, chill out.
How many pieces and just you and next for? It ain't just so you and that.
Oh, did you hear what she just said, dog?
Yes, I am. And I'm my brother's keeper. Yes, I am.
Now listen, that's what I'm talking about throughout this movie. Every time it's a scene, like look at they're celebrating their success. They done took over the Carter. They got a little beef with the Don because he's not getting his percentage. But anyway, they're celebrating his New Year's Eve, whatever, whatnot, la 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 la. And listen to her lyrics. Queen Latifah.
How many pieces and pieces can one man afford? It ain't just you and that guy.
Y'all gotta listen to that For the Love of Money with Queen Latifah. So we losing a few people here. Let's keep it pushing, pushing. Um, boom. Meanwhile, Nino and G Money, they basically pledge allegiance to each other, the crew, and Frankie Needles. Yeah, so I told you about that gift. I meant to show you that, but hopefully, here we go. Just bear with me, y'all. He thought that shit was funny too.
Hey, open it. Put on in charge. All the best, babe.
That's what he does.
Motherfucking little drug dealing creep. Think you're gonna get away with that? I just did. That's the fuck off,
Gigantor.
Now, these silly spaghetti eating asses out of my office.
Did you see that? Yo, I'm telling you, that's how ill I used to be with my knife. I need to start practicing again. I'm ordering one next week. So boom. So he pulls that racist gift with the black dude with the noose around his neck. And gets his fucking hair chopped smooth off. Um, oh, then Guy starts to perform. Do y'all remember Guy? Y'all remember Guy? And it says talk about music in the New Jack Swang. The New Jack Swang was everything. Yeah, girl, that's that Samsung action. I ain't with the iPhone yet. I don't think I'm for the iPhone life, but you could catch Nino when you watch it on your own getting down. I mean, I'm talking about Wesley Snipes is in the club breaking it down like Chris Brown. That's all I got to say. Um, and as usual, his girlfriend Selena, with her lame ass, is looking bored as fuck. To me, I thought his girl was lame as fuck. I just did. She's hella weak. I just wasn't here for that. So, um, so boom, he spots old girl, right? I'm gonna show y'all that because I need y'all to see how much he was getting down. Okay, guy. Yo, y'all remember the New Jack Swing? Yo, look at Wesley. Yo. There we go. Look at him. That's what drug dealers was dancing. Look at Selena. Boo, leave her at home. Joy Court. Look. There's that sexy thing right there. Her bangs are but she's clean though. She's clean though. So it reminds me of what was her damn name? Samson and Delilah. The downfall of the man. Ain't that a bitch? So anyway, let's see where we are with the notes. So girlfriend looks bored. Nino spots sexy Coco. Is that what I called her? I was trying to be fast. Asked you honey if you knew her. Boom. So back at Nino's spot, they watch Scarface. So clip.
The world is mine. And the brothers do now. Forget about us. The world is yours, you know. Only you won't be as careless as Tony Montana.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Yo, T-Money, I like this girl of yours. You ain't got no papers or a leash on me. Well, you know what happens when dogs don't have a leash. You run the streets and try to fuck everything in sight.
One more time.
Dogs don't have a leash. You run the streets and try to fuck everything in sight. Ooh. I ain't got no paper nor no leash, you know what I'm saying? But that ain't nothing to come between us, baby. The world is mine! Mine! Uniqua, what the fuck are you doing up there?
Uniqua. That was about to be my name in real life.
Mark let the world know that he was here. I wanna make you feel alright, yeah. You're absolutely right. I mean, it ain't like I ain't buying. Ain't that right, Selena, baby, huh? Hey, Nino. Hey, she got no kiss, man. She can't folk either, huh? Maybe that's why she can't have no kiss. Huh? What you think? She can't. Goddamn right, that's too bad.
Oh, they ain't shit for that. Hold on. I want you to see the sexy lady. Oh, she ain't shit. Nino is ready to get in the motherfucking draws, nigga. So, I wanted to get into the fact that correlation between Nino Brown and Scarface, and how she couldn't have no kids, and how Michelle Pfeiffer couldn't have kids. Well, she couldn't have no kids because she was coked up all goddamn day. I mean, this bitch did coke the whole goddamn movie. That's probably why she was so bony like that. Like she wasn't skinny, she was like bony. And Selena can't have kids either, and that's ill. How they're with these ill drug dudes, like balling in the mix, and their girls can't have no kids. That's interesting. So boom, boom, boom. Show the relations between. Oh, and she was like, "Too bad." That whole bitch said, "Too bad," and commenced to showing both booty cheeks. Let's move forward. Talk about how Nino disrespects girlfriend. Going deeper there about the dialogue. The dialogue. The dialogue that I wanted to focus on when they went into that room, when they went into the room and started talking. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I just peeped something right there. That's what I just peeped.
Looking for the pimples on the booty. Right, you're right.
Look at G Buddy, y'all. Look at G Buddy. Hold on, real quick. Look at G Buddy. Yo, that's the shit. That's the shit right there. That's the shit. Oh my god. Hey, hey, to the ladies, was y'all some Color Me Bad fans? Because I was. Oh my god, my granny hated that. My granny hated that so much. Unica is a biatch. That's what Snoop meant by bitch. That's the whole bitch. You gotta watch that video where I review the Jada Pinkett Smith interview with Snoop. Watch that. That's what Snoop means by bitch. Okay, because that bitch ain't worth a damn. Okay, just thought I'd let you know.
This is corny. This is soap opera shit. Yo, you act like I owe you something. Dude, I don't owe you jack. I mean, all right. Okay, you give me a couple of books.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was on this part of it with this dialogue between them, there was an obvious disconnect. So it seems like to me initially, because at the beginning of the movie when he's here they are all and then it looks like her game kind of got him on the level because he mentions, yeah, you got me a couple books or whatever, and clearly he read them because he's on deck. Introduced Nino to her fam, got the finances together, like kind of moved him to the next level. Here it is, he blows up. His eyes, please pop. His eyes are popping out. Did you see how big them saucers were? Like, god damn, So he did. He blew up and got cocky and left her in the dust. I mean, that's just pretty much what it is. I can't recall what point I wanted to make there. But yeah, I thought that was ill. And I think what I probably wanted to touch on was like that happens all the time where there's this really ambitious young dude around the way, and it reminds me of Ghost and Tasha. She was an accountant. She ended up, I guess, taking a charge for him. And he's here goes this young brother. He's really actually kind of smart and wants to make moves and shit. And you got this woman who has you basically step your game up and get you on the real level. You feel me? And we in here 2.5 hours. Well, stopping and starting a 2-hour movie is going to definitely be longer while introducing facts. So let's try to move a little bit faster. So Stone checks Scotty about hiring Pookie. Oh yeah, because he's like, damn, how you gonna hire some whole crackhead? And yeah, so we're gonna skip that dialogue. So back to the Carter. Pookie gets promoted to work in the drugstore, a room full of crack. Peretti's like, yo, he's a fucking crackhead, and warns Pookie, like, yo, this is your fucking funeral. You're a crackhead. You cannot be in a room full of crack. So I'm not gonna show any more clips, I don't think, unless it's just like really one of those ill scenes. So meanwhile, Pook is fighting his crack demons because meanwhile he's working in a whole crack house with a whole enterprise and everything. So he's fighting to stay sober. Um, Finally, poor Pook succumbs to his crack smoke, and he ends up getting exposed because when Scotty put him on to take Nino down, they wire him up with the camera, and they basically see him acting all weird on camera. And so did the Cash Money boys. Alan Payne, our G Money, caught him. It was like, yo, you think I'm stupid, fool? You're in here high off that shit. So they murked that nigga, needless to say. They murked that fool and blew that motherfucker to smithereens. Yo, they took all the floppy disk. Y'all remember floppy disks? They took all the floppy disks out the computer and torched the place. Let's see. Let's see. So I was like, red alert, alert. They were fully prepared. No, you got to think, I mean, really? And I think that's why they're scared of our man because we have a lot of Nino Browns out here. But look at that genius. Look at that. I know it's kind of bad, but for what it was that he was doing. But think if you would have nurtured and cultivated that mind, what type of man he would have actually turned out to be. I know it's a character, but in reality, there's a lot of brothers out here like that. I used to date one of them. You know, as far as like what is that word that I'm looking for? You know, literally, like his reading. Well, English wasn't his first language, number one, but like as far as like reading and writing and things like that, that wasn't his. And strapped a bomb to him, which got dismantled within 3 seconds uh, to exploding. Then a shootout ensues. It goes down to the ground. They were kicking in doors, blasting, fires, bombs, everything. And the Asian dude even saves a little kid. Meanwhile, Nino is getting it cracking with the hoe bitch and to some smooth R&B. I ain't shit. Uh, so he finally get them draws, huh? The tricks, okay, not all, but I'm just saying that bitch. Yeah. Okay, this is where he get promoted because Kareem is actually the one who promoted him to work in the drug room. So let's see. We're almost there, y'all. This is when Peretti, the white dude, warned Pookie because he used to be a crackhead himself. But at this point, they didn't reveal that. So just ignore it. I said that. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So this one, Pookie, he starts smoking the rocks. This is where he steals the rocks. This is where he smokes the rocks.
I'm looking at. Yeah, I get it. I'm looking
He's exposed. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. So meanwhile, while these niggas is about to get blown to smithereens, here we go.
Hello. I knew I should have treated you like a hooker. You ain't nothing but a high price hoe. Put me on the phone, bitch. It's for you.
You ain't nothing but a high price. Yo. So he's like, I know you over there having a good time.
Yo, bro, I know you having a good time.
Y'all hear that smooth R&B?
What? We had to shut down the Carter. Hey, get your ass out here right now.
So the Carter ends up getting shut down. And here we go with the infamous Rottweiler scene. Everybody's favorite scene, especially when Martin did it. Oh, that's what I love about that era. Nice. So, Andrea, I read your messages. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm kind of nervous around the Detroit niggas, but what was I gonna say? So that Rottweiler scene though is the best, yo. So, he tells him that the Carter gets shut down. He's clearly pissed. I mean, $1 million a week, but really, Rick Ross was making about $3 million a week. I would. also encourage you to watch some of his interviews. His story is such a great story. $1 million a week. God damn. So let's get on to the scene.
Once. That motherfucker get in.
They hella spooked.
You tell me how to all these motherfuckers in here don't nobody know that shit. Don't nobody know nothing. What up with this? Somebody got to know something was going on. See what I'm saying? That right, G-Money?
Look at G-Money.
Yeah, I think G-Money definitely knows something. Yeah, G-Money knows something. Fucked up. Fucked up big time. You're incapable of running this shit. Your $5 ass down before I make change.
Nobody likes Kareem, by the way.
Say it again. What'd you say? That's what I thought you said. Because that's what I got right now. Nothing. $1 million a week business. Reduce the fucking rebels. Nino!
God damn, Nino.
It's your responsibility. Nino!
Yo, what I put in my notes? Yo, G-Money exposes Kareem as the one who introduced him to Pookie, and the come up of the dark skinned brothers began. Rick Ross clips, but we've been in here mad long. So boom, I had to scroll up some more. G-Money is supposed to go, G-Money ends up smoking crack. Oh my God, what a fucking betrayal. And then they go to Pook's funeral. The government is pissed due to lost funds being spent in an attempt to fight this war on drugs, which was implemented on the people in the first place. And then Stone is basically in it for the feds. Scotty is clearly for Ice-T, is clearly for the people. Stone says the operation is over. But he's basically like Black Dynamite and ain't gonna hear that shit. He's gonna do whatever the fuck you want to do, especially if it's for the people. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look. What y'all got to say? Damn. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. So we got 5 people back. Maybe that's why they tapped out. They're trying to slow my shit down, man. So I'm gonna hurry this up because we down to the last little parts. So Scotty, he feels guilty. He logged out and logged back in. Damn. I don't know what to do. I didn't prepare for that. Oh, Sun Kid's still in the house. Okay, Andrea. Are we good now? Can y'all hear me? Is it good? Okay. I'll keep going. So he feels guilty over Pook's death. And this is the part where he admits that he used to be a crackhead and states that drug abuse has no color barrier. I agree with that. I most definitely agree that it doesn't have a color barrier because drug addiction is drug addiction in that regard. At the same time, we are not, this is what I mean, because somebody in my comments asked me, my mom even be like, are you a racist or something? How can I be racist? Number one, I don't got enough power to be racist. The second thing is no, but I'm not gonna fuck with a white person who doesn't even try to make the attempt to understand these types of issues. Look what we literally just read. You know, these issues are targeted in the urban and black community, the urban black communities. These are specifically targeting black and brown people. So, you know, once we get a person who can acknowledge that, then that's when I rocks with them. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't even have the courtesy to acknowledge it, then fuck them. Um, boom. I was gonna go into um how the crack epidemic and the war on drugs. You remember when it was revealed though 2 years ago where they sent out that clip where Nixon admitted that the war on drugs was a way to stop the hippies and black people against fighting the war in Vietnam? Do y'all remember that being exposed? I was gonna show that clip. But we're gonna keep it pushing because we're rolling on 3 hours. It's been really fun, but yeah. But I mean, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So if we can't get on one accord there, we're gonna never be able to move forward, and that divide and conquer will always win. Because if you can't acknowledge someone's shit, then they're gonna feel like fuck you. Um, so let's see. So Scotty is ready to work Nino Brown, and so is Peretti. And what they do is they get Frankie Needles from, you know, the Don. And you know, did y'all know some of them fools is really like affiliated with the CIA? The mob, like the real mob, not the pretendo mob, like the real, the Italian mobs. Them fools are in real life. Like it reminds me of Boardwalk Empire, which was based off of real shit, you know, and how they were connected with the CIA, and how you had some of those dirty law enforcers during the prohibition and things like that. You know how it go. So he's ready to kill Nino Brown. Oh man. So Scotty and Peretti gets Needles to infiltrate the Cash Money Boys via G Money. And if G Money wasn't on that crack, he would have caught it. But he started smoking them rocks. So he was slipping, you know what I'm saying? And Frankie Needles calls the Don and was like, Frankie's about to itch. Because you remember he said, he was like, if that moolie lays down with Peruvian dogs, then he's gonna get Spanish fleas. And that's when he calls him and lets him know, hey, he's about to start itching. So, boom, Nino is checking G Money on the court. Ice T shows up and Nino is pissed because he just lost $1 million a week business. So he's not fucking with nobody. You feel me? And the whole crew is on the court and they just like, yo, nigga, what's up? You know? And then boom. Oh, Kareem recognizes Ice T, but can't really put his finger on it, right? And then I was gonna, if you watch that scene, the crew walks away, Ice T walks away. And mind you, G Money started smoking rocks, right? If you pause, it's in chalk where he's standing, crack kills. And it's so interesting because he's like smoking crack right now. Which mm, I heard that, Andrea. I heard that. I heard he was affiliated with some mob shit and it turned into something else. You know what I'm saying? So I that's interesting. I think I want to look into that now. Especially bagging bad bitches like Marilyn Monroe. Uh but who another functioning addict. Uh okay, so Dino admits to a gang initiation murder but he didn't to Ice-T, but he didn't know that that was Ice-T's mom Dukes. So on the next scene, there is the Reverend in the neighborhood and Nino, and he's passing out money to all the kids. And the old man from earlier pulls up and he gets beat up basically. Let's see. Jump back in here. I believe they killed her too. Because I believe those were during the times where you could actually really get away with it. Can y'all imagine how much body, Joe? But I 1,000 bajillion% believe that she was killed. Break the fuck up. Oh, this is the part you just covered.
Oh, man.
Look at that.
I checked him out myself. He cool in the fan, man. Cool in the fan. And the product is 60% cheaper than what the brothers are spending now. Now, that's going to free up a whole lot of money to do a lot of other things. Oh, yeah? Like maybe take over another city project, huh? All right.
Taking over another city project. Oh, I'm going to work on my gentrification. Now I got my computer back.
Your money, listen. It's not who he says he is. I'm going to kill him. Then I'm going to.
This nigga don't even, he hitting that rock, okay? That so the long and short of it all, do I want to get into the I do. So Ice-T, basically Ice-T, so he just like you just heard, Nino wants to Mr. Washington, Ice-T to be right by his side because like this is a new nigga here, right? So he basically, when I went into the old man, this is where he missed the gig initiation. And then they end here. Look at the pastor. That's how they be in real life, though, on everything.
Hold up, Pop. Get your butt out of here right now. I can take care of you too, old man. You can't take care of me. You got to take care of yourself because you're an ignorant bastard. You're committing genocide on your own people with your silk suit and damn cigar.
You should have step off, Grandpa.
You're an idol worshiper. You're killing your own people with them little white devils you putting in that bottle. You an idolater. Reverend Oates, what you doing in there with this drug scum?
Reverend Oates.
Man, let me smoke this old dude.
Keisha's hard. Tell him, man, why you punch him in the back like that? Punch him in the back in front of all these kids and the pastor.
2 years,
Look at the pastor. Ain't worth a damn. They didn't even reach out to help him up. Boom, the Reverend Nino gets checked by the old man preaches, gets beat up in front of the Reverend and the kids. Okay, dissect and die. Okay, so you're killing your own people. Really, at the end of that clip, Ice-T really felt bad, but he was undercover, so he couldn't break that shit. And what I found interesting was that dialogue between Nino and the old man, because what was Nino's response?
Oh, you kids, get out of here.
I hope y'all can hear it. Hold on.
Yes. These people gather around you like you God Almighty, like you love them. Devils ain't got no love, man. You killing your own people. What can you want, man? Huh? What, another I have a dream speech? From that same shit you ripping off to me? Look where we at. Not a pot to piss in or window to throw it out. Use the fool, old man.
That's interesting. And then the old man went to go kill him, right? This is what I found interesting about that. That kind of reminds me of my mindset when I was a teenager in California. And, you know, when you're looking around and looking at your circumstance and you feel like there's no way out, your back is against the wall, you feel like you got to do whatever it is the fuck you got to do to create a better life for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I think that's why a lot of us in the Black community rooted for the bad guys, because for us, we felt as though there was no way out, and the only like what did Kanye say on that? And I heard him say, "Nothing ever promised tomorrow today." He said, because the drug dealers is the real rock stars, but they can't cop cars without seeing cop cars. I guess they want us all behind bars. I know it. And I heard him say, "Nothing's ever promised tomorrow today." That's the old Kanye. It reminded me of that, because when you're coming up, those are the ones who's balling in the mix. Those are the ones who's really living how you want to live. Those are the ones who's living like how the people that you look up to. You feel me? So I don't know. I thought that dialogue was interesting enough to point out. Um, let's see here too. And Ice-T really felt him on the low, but he had to stay undercover. And then basically they're kicking it in the pool. Fast forward, bad Nino's balling ass house. They kicking it in the pool. And I just want to know why that white girl was in his face right here the whole time. Oh, so anyway, I skipped past it a little bit. So fast forward, uh Peretti is breaking into Nino's office, and then the Italians strike back. Keisha ends up getting blasted, and they're at the wedding where Keith Sweat was singing for the Reverend. So the Reverend was there. Let's see if I could get the clip real quick. Oh, I can't. They pull up on them. Keisha. That's the little girl he used that. So, boom, the Italians, they pull up, they blast at the whole wedding. So, I think that's why the Reverend was there initially because he ain't getting no dough like that. Nino's making all the dough. Nino ends up paying for the Reverend's daughter's wedding. Because he's affiliated with Nino, her wedding ended up getting blasted on by the Don. And dang, he lost Keisha and a few other folks out the Cash Money crew. Um, And then Nino's old trifling ass picked up this little girl and used her as a body shield. Like, ain't that fucked up? Used the little girl, left her in the dust and his girlfriend in the dust. Didn't try to protect, save, or do nothing for his woman at all. Okay? Basic and shitted on her too after she tried to check him.
I've seen you kill too many people. No. Cancel that bitch.
Damn. He said, cancel that bitch. I'll buy a new one. Oh, I remember being just like that in my little fucked up days. I was just like that. That's that you could be balling in the mix and be miserable than a motherfucker. Facts. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's another good lesson to pull from this. You could be. I remember rolling around with racks in my truck, and I was miserable as fuck. I was hella sad. I was hella depressed. I had no idea who I was. Money was everything to me. You know what I'm saying? And I had no balance. I had zero balance. You know what I'm saying? So, and you could see that he has that too by the way he treats things and people. Um, boom. So they strike back. Keisha gets blasted. Nino's trifling ass uses baby girl as a cover. Nino's trifling ass gets away. Keisha was a whole soldier. R.I.P. to Keisha. Rockabye, baby. Um, for to Nino, girlfriend. So the mob calls Nino. So after this scene, that when the phone rang, that was the mob. That was Don, whatever his name is. I'm gonna just call him the Don, right? So he calls Nino and was like, "Yo, yeah." So you was rolling with them Peruvian niggas, so you had to get spanked. And he was like, "Fuck you, you linguine eating motherfucker." And then the Don hung up on him. Right when that nigga hangs up on him, the Cash Money Boys get retaliation on them fools, riding on their crew, and then the news commences. So I'll move forward from there, right? Because we want to get to the good parts, some other good parts. Um, they warn Nino. Boom. Then the street war commences because the Italians mob on them, he mobs back, and then you know how that goes. In the news, they basically compared it to the St. Valentine's shootout in Chicago. Where's Skinny Boy Classic? Did you hear about the St. Valentine's shootout growing up in Chicago? I'm gonna scroll up my notes so I don't keep getting lost. Where y'all at? No, it wasn't what. Well, yeah, it was his brother in crime, but that was G Money. Ice T is a cop who was infiltrated through G Money because G Money became a crackhead. G Money ended up smoking rocks, and he wasn't able to see that he was getting infiltrated by a pig. And because of that, um, because you remember during the beginning when they first showed um Nino Brown in the club with Flavor Flav, and they walked past each other in the club doing their gangster shit, la 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 la. He was as you why I don't know if you watch gangster movies, drug movies, and shit like that, drug shows. You know, a lot of undercovers plant their seeds years in advance. You know, they'll be kicking in the same spots. They work the streets. You know, the people who are connected to other motherfuckers, they get locked up. They get cases. Have you ever seen The Departed or anything like that? You know, they go to jail. They serve time. They put in work. You know what I'm saying? They basically train them into being real drug dealers so they can infiltrate some type of uniform movement that whoever that law enforcement is targeting at the time. So that's basically what that was with Ice T. And that's how he got in the group because he used the fact that G Money was now a crackhead, not really using his brain, and able to divide and conquer. What year was the movie? This movie came out in 1991. Deep Cover is one of my dad's favorite movies and mine too. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell y'all now. That was the movie that I picked for next week. I've been waiting to tell y'all. I picked Deep Cover for next week. I mean, I'm talking about there are fucking diamonds, rubies, pearls, black pearls, sapphires, emeralds, gold chains, gold watches, Rolexes, all up in that movie. Fuck just jewels. There's all kind of shit in that movie, okay? What year was the Valentine's Massacre in Chicago? Let's take a look. I know it's sometimes in the late 30s or 40s. Because wasn't that during the time when that full what's that guy's name? What is that guy's name? Off of the movie Hoodlum, because that was a real story. And I done closed out my notes from that I had earlier. So that means we almost at the end, and I'm just gonna have to use the knowledge that I already have. Same Valentine's Day Massacre. Oh, 1929. Excuse me. Check yourself. Um, A murder of 7 members and associates of Chicago's North Side gang that occurred on St. Valentine's Day. A brief shootout erupted, resulting in the death of bank robber Russell Gibson. Taken into custody were Doc Barker, Byron Bolton, and 2 women. In 1914 at 10:30 a.m. Not Nucky Thompson, that's Boardwalk Empire. It was a horrific shooting in mob history. Arena shooting occurs, la 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 la. And they were an infamous gang in Chicago. 7 men lined up against the wall in the North Side garage and gunned down execution style, infamous mob hit. The mass murder of 7 men of the North Side gang on orders from Al Capone. Okay, that's interesting. So it was in the year 1929. But that shootout, the way they mobbed on the Italians, reminded me of that because they just came. So police consult with Scotty and Peretti for the setup. Finally, Kareem's overtarded ass realizes Ice-T is a cop. Nino starts shooting immediately. G-Money is spooked and a shootout ensues. Dutta Man ends up getting murdered in this scene. He went out hard as fuck. He got blasted, fell off the bridge, not off the bridge, but like they were in a warehouse, so he fell off the bridge within the warehouse. Got up and started blasting again, but Peretti saved Scotty's life, Ice-T's life. G Money meets with Nino on the roof because basically he wasn't on his shit. And if he was on his shit, then he would have realized that Ice-T was a cop in the first fucking place. G Money meets with Nino Brown on the roof, exposes him and calls him Kane, and realizes that he's a whole crackhead. And he said, I'm my brother's keeper. Oh, let's go here. Skip that. I ain't going front with y'all though. And it was that jealousy. It was the jealousy and his ego all at once. But his jealousy made him forget his friend and that they built this from the bottom. His friend not being humble enough to understand that why would he forget that? It was just a disconnect there. Now all the niggas think bitches ain't shit, so we ain't really got to worry about that. Now what we got to worry about is if the niggas is smashing each other or not. Okay, here we go. He comes up all broke down from the shootout. Look at him. Nino's old grimy ass. Perfect condition.
Cut aside deal with that woman. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Fucking Kane. My brother's keeper. Was it this, huh?
Can I just point out to you guys really quick, like for the 6 of y'all that's still in the house, okay? Please just look at these skills of Wesley Snipes and Alan Payne. Like, really tune into it.
Now I see how you let that motherfucker infiltrate. He used you, G.
He's like, no, not my crack.
Whatever happened to, am I my brother's keeper, huh? You know what happened to it? The world is mine. Remember that? Everything is mine. Everything. Even my woman. Is that what this is about? Fucking skeezer. You think I give a fuck about her? Fuck that whole bitch. I don't give a fuck about her. You know, man, it ain't about her.
You gotta watch them drug dealers. Just saying.
It's about us. Love you, man.
You
embarrass me, man.
Nino.
For all them people treated me like I was soft, man. Treated me like I was spineless. We built this shit. You didn't do this shit by yourself. You forgot about me, man. Your brother.
Oh wow, here we go. Hold on, real quick, y'all. Let me get my ass covered. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use YouTube for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, which is what we're doing right now. Scholarship and research, again, the same thing. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. This video has no negative impact on the original works. It would actually be positive for them. This video is also for teaching purposes. It is not transformative in nature. I only use bits and pieces of the videos to get the point across.
Keisha, man, another man. Let's make it like it was. Let's be a family, man. Let's make it like it was, man. You, man.
Those are
man,
real tears.
Cars and the bitches and the man, all that shit, man. Fuck that shit, man. Us, man, man, you. Let's be a family.
What would y'all have done? What would y'all have done? Yeah, me too. I like the way they take it to heart too. Look at that. Look at those tears. That's real.
I'm on the run, G. We can never go back to where it was. But tell you how we can make it.
Mm, mm.
CMB.
CMB,
Man,
we all we got. Look at that.
My brother's
keeper. Look at those real tears.
Yes.
That killed him a little. A lot.
Yo, what's up, man? You know what Nino Brown is?
Damn.
Yo, you heard my man?
Yo. Damn, man. Did y'all see that? Oh, fucking crazy. This old brother, man. CMB, we all we got. Oh, dang.
I'm telling you shit. Last summer, me and my boys took first place in this basketball tournament. Set him on fire.
Yo. Check this out with the little kid. Look at.
You can kiss my ass. Kiss my. Yo, you heard my man?
Okay, the whole time this kid is riding for Nino Brown, look at the kid in the back.
I ain't telling you shit. Last summer, me and my boys took first place in this basketball tournament.
Look here.
The whole team.
Like, fuck Nino Brown.
You can kiss my ass. Kiss my ass at that. Yo, you know something? Yo, this dude is a cop. Yo, fly over. Yeah. Come here, punk. Yeah. I know where Nino lives. He beat this kid who was scrambling for a baseball bat. Pour gasoline on him. Set him on fire. He sold him $5.
$5.
Upstairs in the apartment. See, watch out. He got bodyguards on the roof.
Yo, sorry, y'all. So my attempt was to show you that he was with the whole bitch still while he murked his partner over said bitch and is kicking it with her watching their love movie Scarface. Ain't that a bitch? So boom. So Nino and the whole bitch kick. That's what I wrote. Watching Scarface. Okay, check this out. It's nighttime. 5 kick in the door, shut it down, and then suddenly it's daytime when Ice-T whoops his ass outside. Show clip of him ripping the Africa necklace off. The whole community is happy as fuck. He's getting fucked up. Nino's girlfriend switches up. It's the original girlfriend, Selena. She testifies against Nino because that moment when Ice-T was whooping his motherfucking ass out the window, when he was whooping his ass out the window, she was like, I'll testify against him. I'm like, I didn't see it for Selena the whole time, ever, not ever. Um, let's see what y'all talking about. Next generation of drug dealers. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. You are goddamn right. So let's see if I can skip ahead. So he whoops his ass. He's like, I want to shoot you so bad. My dick's hard.
Can't go out like this, man.
I mean, he fucks him up. Yo, because he killed his mom, dude.
Come on.
I'll testify. Even if it means my life, I will testify.
Come on, guy. Can't go out like this, man. Come on, put the gun down. Don't throw your life away.
That nigga Petty in the background. He said, give me the gun, I'll do it. So boom. So yeah, just like I said, she said she would testify against them. Let's see, show Nino speech on drugs, pull out the facts, discuss big business, interesting enough, they use a black woman lawyer. That's true. Blamed Kareem. Oh, did y'all know Celie's sister was in the background? He said, I'll be out a week. I'm about to show y'all.
Buy 2.5.
Me.
Ain't no Uzis made in Harlem. I mean, not one of us in here owns a poppy field. This thing is bigger than Nino Brown. This is big business.
It is.
This is the American way.
It is. Facts.
I'm sure that the court was enlightened by your geopolitical tirade, Mr. Brown. Unfortunately, society at large is not on trial here. You are Mr. Brown.
But he said he was stating facts.
Head of the narcotics consortium, the murderously bloody CMB.
Yes.
I could not hear you. Would you please speak up, Mr. Brown?
I'm waiting for Celie, y'all. I'm waiting for Celie.
But I was forced into this way of life. Hey, look, I've been dealing drugs ever since I was 12 years old. See, I didn't have the chances that you had, Miss Hawkins. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, Miss Hawkins.
You said a regular spoon.
They threatened to kill my mother.
Who are you talking about, Mr. Brown?
There's the whole bitch.
Hey, look at him. Kareem Akbar. That's right, the educated brother from the bank. He's the real head of the CMB. The brains behind the whole thing. I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I gotta listen. If I'm going down, I'm taking the whole lot. Order in the court. Order in the court.
Hey, Celie, sister. I think I fast forwarded too far. There she is. Look. Who's that right there? That's Celie's sister. Sister, you've been on my mind. Yes. So she was in the back. So yeah, he was kicking facts. The girlfriend testifies. So Nina goes off to making a new deal. He blames Kareem. Oh yeah. Then he gets off with a year of probation, basically, or parole or some shit like that. And then he gets killed by the old guy. So that's the end of the movie. Those hoes ain't loyal. Oh, Sugar Hill is my motherfucking shit. Oh my, oh my goodness. That's my sheet. He did break their ass down on the stand. And CP was CP. I'm sorry, I'm slow. But Sugar Hill is a good one. Sugar Hill is a motherfucking good one. For real, for real. Um, but yeah, what I wanted to say was uh um that guy, the old guy coming 3 times to Nino reminds me of that story that they used to show like, oh God, why don't you help me? Why don't you help me or whatever? And he sends the boat and he's like, nah, I'm waiting for God. Then he sends a truck. I'm just making shit up. And he's like, no, I'm waiting for God. And then he sends a train. Oh, no, I'm waiting for God. Then he gets killed. God, I was waiting for you to save me. Nigga, I sent a train, a boat, a truck. What do you want me to do? Like, that's what it reminded me of for some reason. Like, because here it is. Warning, 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 and boom. Just on some Marvin Gaye shit. He's the one that blasts your ass. Let's see if I can do it without. Let's see what happened here.
Greatest in the world. America.
He ain't shit.
This is over with. Come work for me.
Mr. Brown, are you pleased with the outcome?
Absolutely. I think the American justice system is the greatest in the world. I'll be American. Hi, Mom. I got it down.
Not high, Mom.
My soul is required in hell.
Your soul is required in hell. Look how they look at him. Stone. Iced tea. Oh. Already ain't shit. Another day in the hood. Where's that song? Nino. The original. The original. That was good, y'all.
How many business and beings can one man afford? It ain't just him, it's also you and that guy. That guy. Satisfied to all of us is getting high. One hit for her, she's pulling down your drawers. One hit for him, his wealth is taking yours. It ain't nothing but a small thing in a big city. See, you're living for the money thing.
Oh, look, y'all. That's when the Twin Towers was up. Remember that? Man. All right, y'all. That's motherfucking New Jack City. There, he said, that nigga said, your soul is required in hell. Oh, damn. By the old man, the mother you didn't even think it would be. Oh, nigga said, your soul is required in hell. Ain't that a bitch, okay? I'm gonna watch this again in the movie. So you said, what about Set It Off? Yo, we've been on here for 3 and almost a half hours. So I'm gonna do Set It Off tomorrow night. I think we got to do one movie at a time because clearly these break. First of all, I didn't know the movie was an hour and 40 minutes. And all the stopping and pausing and the notes that I was taking is a whole lot. So if you down, we could do it tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? Or tomorrow morning, afternoon, while we doing some meal prep. Shoot, I might just surprise you, motherfuckers. Who knows? But so what y'all think? She said, "Oh my gosh, it's a wrap. Boom, boom." Oh man, Yeah, the Twin Towers. Thank you. Nice. And did y'all know that um New Jack City came March 8th, y'all. March 8th, y'all. This is March. Come on, calculator. Help me look smart. It's all loading slow and shit. I thought I would have it all done. Really? It didn't seem long? Commentary on point. We good. I miss what the release date of New Jack City was March the 8th of 1991, which makes this movie okay, so everything was act stupid right now. Okay. Not Sunday. Sunday. So we, not even knowing, celebrated 29th year of New Jack City. Look at us ahead of the game though. Sugar Hill, do Sugar Hill. Okay, I think we have to do Sugar Hill. I think we're gonna have to do Sugar Hill. Um, okay. She's like, no warnings. Okay, word, you got that. We could try to link up tomorrow. Um, so yeah, we celebrated it. I saw that when I was taking notes, like, oh shit, we had it again. So that was all y'all. That was y'all votes. So I guess we already got our movies for next week. All we got to do is set it off for the ladies. And then next week, we're going to do Deep Cover and Sugar Hill. Because I already bought Sugar Hill. So I own that motherfucker. So, and then that's, oh, I got stars. So I don't got to buy shit. I just got to, did I already pay? It should have automatically deducted from my bank anyway. So yeah, real talk, healthy food. We did our first live. So no warnings. Okay. Mornings out. Okay. And meal prep is gonna be super easy this week. I'm just gonna show you some simple beans and rice. How I make my beans and rice, but it's gonna be Tex-Mex, so it's gonna include corn. Um, and then I'm having and I'm gonna show y'all how to make vegan tuna, rice and beans, and I think that's it because I'm doing an easy meal prep this week. Okay, so but that's gonna be pre-recorded and uploaded. So I hope y'all tune into that. But yeah, it was super fun kicking it with y'all. Thank you so much. Yo, um Shonda, thank you so much for the support. And I will do Sugar Hill because I fucking love that movie. Um, I don't know why I like that vibe, but I just do. Sunkiss, thanks for holding your girl down. Classic, Skinny Boy Classic. Thank you for showing me the love when I had 2 followers. Okay, he was there when I had 2. I synced you. I synced you. Um, and Andrea, thank you so much for keeping things moving along. I feel like I got some soldiers on deck. Okay. Yeah, we gotta work on this name here. I'm fucking with the Care Bears. I don't know why I'm fucking with that. So tough. I think it's because it seems to me, from what I see, we're coming from the same era. We actually give a fuck. We ain't no chumps, but we're determined, like Dave Chappelle said. But anyway, oh, like always, if you watch to the end, you the bomb.com. Thank you for kicking it with your girl. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you care. Check out my recipes. I got a bunch of recipes on my channel. If you need something a little bit more personable, hit me up at Real Talk and Healthy Food on Instagram, and I'll hook you up. Like, we could just have a dialogue to see where it is, where you're at, because I'm gonna try to get you off the meat, and that's that. Because I don't cook no meat, so I haven't ate meat in 10 years. So, but I been dairy free since August. So I'm not perfect, but I'm making my way to a healthier option. Oh, thank you. Man, I never thought that that video would blow up like how it did. Look at my comments. I made a suggestion. What did you say? I think, guys, I really enjoyed. Feel like I've known you. You know my ass. Care Bear is fine. Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Good night, Andrea. You have a good night, and I hope I see you down in the comments sooner than later. Uh, you keep growing. Thank you, Sunkiss, for all the support. Um, Word. I will. I've been sick and losing that on. Uh, weird thoughts. Girl, my eyes. I will. I've been sick and losing weight. Let's talk. Oh yes. Well then, hit me up. I can show you how to get them healthy gains. Hit me up. Some good healthy starches for you. But just offhand, black rice, yams, um, black rice, yams. Offhand, those are the healthy starches. Basmati rice is something you want to lean towards. Um, Basmati rice, brown rice. You want to look for it in its or wild rice. Are good ways to get healthy weight. Potatoes too. If you're not using a whole bunch of butter, sugar, and all that extra shit, but you can make a good cream or something without it being bad for you. You like the video about Jada and Snoop? Yeah, I had to jump on that one. Black don't crack, okay? Yo, I swear, my supervisors and stuff at work, they be walking around tricking motherfuckers and shit. Girl, the first year I worked there, I thought that whole year we was the same age. She's like, girl, I'm 48. What, bitch? I almost called out a name, didn't even mean to. You ain't no goddamn 48, girl. You ain't about to be 50. How you about to be 50? We look the same. But little did she know I'm 103. But yeah, hit me. Well, it ain't real talking healthy food. Hit me up on the gram. That's the best way to contact me because I don't see my emails days at a time. The only emails that I focus on is at work, and then when I'm off work, I'm not looking at no emails unless I'm expecting something. So that's why I drive y'all to Instagram because that is the fastest way for me to respond to you. So email is just not realistic for me. Jasmine, I don't really like the texture of some rices because they're too like stick together-ish. I don't like rice that stick together like that. I like the rice that like separates with itself, I guess. I don't know if I'm explaining it. Losing bad weight. I've been doing YouTube since November. But I've been a thug all my life. No, I'm just playing. No, I've been doing this since November. I've been wanting to do it for so long. I finally got the courage and said, if I don't do it now, I'm never gonna have the courage. And I felt like I ended up before I ended up in the hospital at one point, I just after I got out of the hospital, I started really taking it more seriously. And I just felt like I was letting my ancestors down by not speaking on my talents. Yep, 103, girl. That's that ole and vegetables and water. Um, Thank you, Miss Brown. Yeah, my Instagram, real talking healthy food. And I got the same pictures. That picture in the corner is my 10-year challenge picture. It looks the same. It's the 10-year challenge. So yeah, black don't crack at all. So yeah, but I'm about to it's 2:39. I gotta do the meal prep video, so I'm gonna be sleeping in for sure. I appreciate all of you. I do, because I was really scared to do this, and you guys are just um supporting me. And just to speak on the lady real quick, Jane Warfield, honestly, I was just speaking my point of view. I never in a bazillion, gajillion years would have thought that my little self would have got 13,000 views and another almost 4,000 views or 3,000 views. We're just gonna say 3,000 and 12,000. I never would have thought ever in my whole life I would have a video like that. I never thought that ever, ever, ever. I was happy to have 50. And then the next thing you know, I celebrated it. I had 52. I was so happy about that 52. Girl, I woke up and saw 100 and something. I was like, oh my God. Then about 300, I got scared. And I started talking to my big sis. And I was just like, yo, I don't know if I'm kind of ready for this. But she helped me realize my power, and you guys do too. Where am I located? I'm in Kentucky and I'm Leo. I was raised in California, but I'm in the Midwest now. So yeah. Okay, y'all. Well, y'all be good out there. Well, don't be good. Be safe. Peace, love, and hair grease, and all that jazz. Also, if you need those recipes or you need some just kind of help, if I can't find it or don't got it in my head, I will direct you to where you should go to help you with your needs, okay? Or at least show you a book that you could buy that you could keep on deck that'll help you lifelong and not just for this week. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, thank you. Shit to say. I got a lot to say, and I'm glad I just got somewhere to say it instead of just it always being in my head and no one to share it with. But I'm about to get out of here. We've been in here 3.5 hours. I feel like I got some partners on deck. Um, I'll be back on live tomorrow night because we got to do set it off, and already purchased it. But I spent so much time on this one, just because sometimes you get caught up in the reading of things, and then the next thing you know, an hour went by. So going live is a different experience than pre-recording a video because I don't wonder, but it's reading one thing and learning about why this happened. You have to go back and then you could bring it back forward with a good foundation. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you end up consuming a lot and then you got to get back to the point. So I'm gonna learn how to do this live thing, but after this experience, I think I'll have it a little bit more down pat. But I'm about to get off here, y'all. Thank you again for all the love, peace, love, and hair grease and all that jazz. Share if you care, and y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to post a little intro letting you know what time it would be. And I'll see you then, okay? And I get along. My best friend is a Libra. My brother is a Libra. You for the support. And I'll see y'all tomorrow night, okay? Peace.